Hello. I really should plan these out more. Hey, what's going on, guys, and welcome back. Today we're back with some more Ace Attorney. The last stream was yesterday. It was supposed to be the end of this episode that we were playing, but this episode is really long. So let's just pretend that the last stream and this stream are together, right? Like, we just took a brief intermission. I changed my clothes for some reason, and it's daytime. Look, sunlight. Let's just pretend they happened back to back. Anyway, we're back with some Ace Attorney. Last time, there was a lot of shit. There was a lot of stuff that happened. So, if you guys want a quick recap, fuse them together to make a video. I mean, that's so much work. I don't want to upload a VOD. a 7-hour VOD, a 6-hour VOD. Anyway, listen. What happened last time was basically we discovered that at the police station, right? It was caught on camera that Mr. Guardman and a fake detective that was murdered had a squabble in the evidence room, right? The imposter, not Among Us, was trying to get into a locker that had some evidence for a case that occurred 2 years ago. The locker was already empty, and he knocked out the guard that was on patrol that day unconscious. There was a lot of blood in the room from the guard himself, which is kind of funny, but actually, psych, there was a second occurrence that happened in that same evidence room earlier that day that we just discovered. On top of that, oh god, there's so much stuff to recap. Oh my god. What is it called? On top of that, we learned that that incident happened 2 years ago. That is the SL9 incident. That incident was this is really hard. It was like 4 hours yesterday. It was a lot of shit. Mr. Meekins, yeah, Mr. Hexagon Man, that's the police officer. But basically, the SL9 incident that happened 2 years ago occurred in the office of Mr. Gant, Mr. Man in an orange suit and a really bright red tie, man, with green eyes. That guy's weird. And Miss Lana Sky, which is the older sister of Emma Sky, which is our sidekick for this episode. Right, they were in an office together. Emma was waiting in there, and some crazy man, Mr. Dark, Mr. Joe Dark. His name is Joe. He ran into the room and tried to kill Emma. Jake Marshall's brother, Neil, was his name? I don't know, something like that. Died trying to protect her. Well, trying. He did protect her, but and now Jake Marshall's like, he didn't die to him. Whatever. There's a lot of loose ends. You should have just been here yesterday. I'm gonna keep it real with you. There's so much shit. I really do want to explain this all, but it's a lot. It's a lot. It's so hard. Anyway, we also figured that Mr. Gant, which is the head of the police department, kept a bunch of evidence from that SL9 case in his safe, which was coded, which had a code that matched his ID number, which is 77777. On the ID card record, it showed that he entered the evidence room earlier that day at 4:20 p.m. Nice. And possibly had something to do with the squabble that happened earlier that day in the evidence room. I think that's all I remember. I'm gonna keep it real with you. And oh yeah, that's right. Mr. Gant had brain, had control over Miss Lana Sky in a way, some kind of power dynamic bullshit, and ordered her to move the body of the detective. All right, his body was left in the trunk of Mr. Miles Edgeworth's car, and she took out the knife that was used to kill him and replaced it with Mr. Edgeworth's knife because it'd be weird if there was a different knife that wasn't supposed to be there. Miss Angel Star saw it happen and assumed that it was murder, when in reality, he was already dead. All right, I think that's all that's important, probably. If you followed that, that's kind of crazy. Anyway, I should probably say hello everyone before we start. So, hello Gray, hello Mina, hello Leah, hello Skelly, hello Silver, hello Tortoise. Are you guys all ready for this? Why not sexual attorney? Because that would be weird. Anyway, Final day, trial former, episode 5, Rise from the Ashes. Let's get started. February 25th, 9:47 a.m., District Court, defendant lobby, numero dos. This is defendant lobby, all right, but there's no defendant. I've been trying to reach Lana all morning. Where could she be? And where's Emma, for that matter? It almost seems as if something's been happening behind the scenes. Who is this? Oh. Edgeworth!
Knowing you, you've already figured it out. Who the owner of the 777777 ID number is, that is.
Well, I have a pretty strong hunch. Damon Gant. Looks like I'm not the only one who's figured it out.
You know, the only reason this trial didn't reach a verdict yesterday is because there was still room for doubt regarding this ID record. If that number does belong to whom you suspect, then no doubt will remain. After all, he hasn't been officially charged with anything.
True. Not yet. Everybody's got some voice acting. I appreciate it. I'm still confused I don't know what's going on. I'm still confused, but I don't care. You'll probably pick up on a little bit of it. The game likes to recap a lot, especially between the save points. So everyone should be somewhat caught up by a good chunk of the way in. So don't worry.
In any event, once all doubt has been removed from that list, I can call for a ruling. 5 minutes, right? And Chief Prosecutor Sky will be found guilty.
But she didn't do it.
I figured you'd say as much. That's why I came here, to hear what you have to say.
This is the first time he's ever done something like this. Lana's hiding something, and the only way we'll ever know the truth is to draw it out of her.
The truth?
Everything goes back to the SL9 incident.
Don't be stupid. Today's the last day of the trial. We don't have time to reminisce about the past.
That depends on you. If she's found guilty, you'll lose your only chance to find out what really happened. Sorry, I need water. And I also need to make sure my phone is on silent. Don't make noise.
I'll think about it. See you in court, right?
Bye. This is it. If I'm ever going to find out what Chief Gant has on her, it's now. Water yummy? True. All right. February 25th, 10 a.m., District Court, courtroom number 9. Court is now in session for the trial of Miss Lana Sky. The defense is ready, Your Honor.
The prosecution is ready, Your Honor.
Normally this is when the prosecution puts forth its opening statement. But before that, the police chief has a proposal to make. Chief Gant. Morning, folks. How's everyone doing? Hey, Ergy. Been back to the pool yet?
No, I've been drowning enough as it is in my work.
Oh, that's a good one. Don't think I can top that. You always get the same judge with the Santa beard. He's a classic.
If you don't mind me asking, Chief, exactly what is this proposal of yours?
Nada. That is to say, the defendant has asked me if she could speak directly to the court. She wants to do what? I haven't heard what she intends to say. I feel she should be granted a request. In the end, it should save everyone a lot of time and trouble. The judge is the hottest? Kind of true, actually. I'm not gonna lie.
What's this all about, defendant?
I'd just like to make one civil request, and I'll be finished.
Well then, what's your request?
Your Honor, I'd like you to put an immediate end to this trial.
Huh?
I confess to all charges against me. On February 21st of this year, I murdered Detective Bruce Goodman in the underground parking lot of the prosecutor's office.
No, Lana! You can't! Your Honor, the defendant's claim does not change the defense's plea.
In that case, Mr. Wright, I no longer require your services.
But Lana!
Your Honor, I hereby forfeit my right to an attorney. The prosecution may lack direct evidence against me, but it has sufficiently proven its case through testimony and circumstantial evidence. I would like you to render your verdict now, if you please.
Well, the defendant certainly has the right to self-representation. Her request is legally valid, although this is an unprecedented situation. Indeed, it appears there's no further need to continue this trial, even if Mr. Wright may feel otherwise.
This can't be happening.
It appears the time for the verdict has arrived. This court finds the defendant.
Okay.
One moment, Your Honor. Mr. Edgeworth! The prosecution has not yet proven the defendant guilty beyond reasonable doubt. Any ruling at this stage would certainly be premature.
Come now, Worthy. I understand there's a difficult time for you. But why don't you be a good little boy and keep your mouth shut?
I don't think I care for your tone, Chief Gant.
What?
Creating another fabrication to cover up your past mistakes. Sorry, but I'm no longer the naive little boy you would have me be. With this sudden confession from the defendant, it's obvious to me some kind of deal was struck behind the scenes.
Some kind of deal? Not everyone operates as you do, Worthy.
I thought so. Your Honor, the prosecution would like to change its first witness.
Oh?
To whom? As its first witness, the prosecution would like to call Miss Emma Sky. I request the court hears her testimony.
I love they didn't record a hold it for her.
Mr. Edgeworth, I'm exercising my right to self-representation. I don't think we need to continue.
I don't care what you think, Miss Sky.
That was a little closer.
The exposure of the truth sometimes results in tragedy. However, no matter how tragic the truth may be, it would be an even greater tragedy to avert one's eyes from it. Very well, the court shall grant the prosecution's request. That's okay with you, right, Chief Gant?
Worthy, you'll live to regret this. Mark my words.
Miss Emma Sky, please take the stand.
Looks like Edgeworth has decided to take this horse by the reins. I don't need another sip of water. For context, by the way, after Lana killed, or quote unquote killed, in reality, after Lana replaced the knife that was inside Detective Bruce Goodman, right? And after she knows she's been spotted by Angel Star, she made a call to her sister, Emma Sky. And what that call contained is it in here? I don't actually know. Oh, the call contained the word muffler. And we just have the record that the call took place at 5:18. We don't actually know what the call said, which is probably what she's about to testify right now. All right, let's get started. Ken has the Donald Trump tan. Actually true. Oh my god. He does have the Donald Trump tan. All right.
Now then, witness, please state your name and occupation.
My name is Emma Sky. My occupation? I'm Lana's little sister, and I want to be a scientific investigator.
2 years ago, you encountered the serial killer Joe Dock of the Joe Dock killings, Joe Mama. Is this correct?
Yes. I'm trying my hardest to forget about that, though.
Ah, my foot's itchy.
I'm sorry, but I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you to recall those events one more time. Mr. Edgeworth, please remember this trial concerns the murder of Detective Goodman. Is an incident that was resolved 2 years ago really all that relevant? Yes, it most certainly is. Well, okay then.
He sure gave it fast.
No endurance. No. Please testify about what happened to you 2 years ago.
The trip to yesteryear has finally begun. It's bound to lead to the truth behind this trial. Witness testimony 2 years ago.
I was sitting in my sister's office that day. A man came running in and took me hostage. Neil Marshall rescued me. But I'll never forget what I saw in that instant. The man raised up his knife and stabbed Mr. Marshall in the chest.
It's a good thing you weren't harmed.
I passed out. I don't remember much.
That's understandable. However, please tell me, Mr. Edgeworth, what does this testimony have to do with Detective Goodman's murder? That will soon become apparent, Your Honor.
You've got to admire him for his courage, considering he has no evidence.
Very well, the defense may begin its cross-examination.
Alright, so we're pressing everything as per usual. Cross-examination 2 years ago. I was sitting in my sister's office that day. Alright. 2 years ago, the defendant was a detective at the police department, correct?
Yes, she was second in command under the then Deputy Chief of Police Gant. My sister, she was the best detective ever.
Yes, I remember. Deputy Chief Gant and Miss Sky used to be quite a pair. I believe they shared the same office.
That's right. I'd always sit at my sister's desk and dreamt about playing that organ. I wanted to play it that day too.
The police department and the prosecutor's office held a ceremony that day.
Lana promised to take me to dinner after she finished her work.
A man came in running and took me hostage. A man?
Yes, Joe Dark. He was a serial killer.
Joe Dark was brought in for questioning on that day of that ceremony. We were desperate to get anything on him that would lead to an arrest. When he saw his chance, he fled the room, right? Upon fleeing the room, Dark proceeded to take the elevator. He must have been in a panic because the elevator was going up. Then he ran into Sky and Gant's office.
There was a lot of noise coming from outside, so I opened up the door to have a look. That's when I saw him.
Neil Marshall rescued me. What was the prosecutor doing there?
That day, there were two people present during Dark's questioning. Deputy Chief Damon Gant and the prosecutor Neil Marshall.
I almost forgot about Gant.
Neil Marshall just had received the King of Prosecutors Award. Young and dedicated, he went straight to the questioning room after the ceremony. I assume that would also be why he was first to run after Dark.
When Dark grabbed me, I thought I was as good as dead.
And that's when Prosecutor Marshall came running in?
I don't clearly remember what happened then. But
I'll never forget what I saw in that instant. Can you tell us about that?
Mr. Marshall jumped on Dark. Just then, the lights went out.
The lights?
It was just about this time of year. There was a terrible storm going on, and lightning struck nearby.
So the electricity went out.
Wait a minute. If it was pitch dark in that room, you shouldn't have been able to see anything, right?
Right, but just then, lightning flashed again outside. That sudden flash left an unforgettable image of the scene in my mind.
I see.
I told the detective about what I saw then.
The detective?
Yes, Detective Goodman. He was in charge of the case.
Detective Bruce Goodman, the victim. So you spoke with Detective Goodman about this 2 years ago?
Yes. That's what's so scary about this trial.
And you told Detective Goodman about what you saw?
Yes, but at the time, the words just wouldn't come out. That's why I drew a picture.
A picture? Yes, I think she mentioned that before.
Well, Mr. Wright, have you heard enough?
This picture, the witness drew, I believe it has a very important meaning.
But the list of evidence I was given 2 years ago didn't contain a picture. Witness, would you mind if we added this statement to your testimony?
Yes, Your Honor. I drew a picture of that scene once, but it seems to have been lost.
You drew a picture of the scene you witnessed, right?
Yes, I wanted to do everything I could to help the investigation. I can still see it now, whenever I close my eyes.
That's straight. Sorry. That's strange. I took over the case after Prosecutor Marshall died, yet I never received any picture. Perhaps the witness is mistaken?
But I did draw it, I swear! I'm not just imagining it.
This picture that Emma drew, that reminds me. I guess I should check the evidence again. All right, so we're gonna present the list of evidence.
Well, anyway, let's continue. The scene that imprinted an image in your mind. Can you please describe it to us?
The man
raised his knife and stabbed Mr. Drunch on the chest. That must have been a real shock.
Even now when I close my eyes, I can still see it just as clearly.
Tell it.
God, it's just so... There's like 4 voices bouncing my head. My head hurts, dude. Holy shit. I'm invested, okay? I'm invested.
Tell us, what were you doing at that moment? I believe you testified that Joe Dark was holding you hostage.
When lightning struck and the lights went out, Mr. Marshall jumped on Dark. I was thrown aside. The two began wrestling each other.
Began. I can't read.
I'm pretty sure I was watching them.
Emma doesn't have any reason to lie. But Lana sure does. I need to get Emma to tell me as much about this as she can. Alright. Alright, we do have something to present, but I do want to take a quick look at the evidence one more time. Picture is drawn on the back of the evidence list in a magic marker. Got a very bad feeling about this. All right. I think I present this. Like, I don't think there's anything else that's worth presenting at the moment. Sorry. This theme is always a banger. Mr. Edgeworth, this little girl put all her heart into drawing that picture. And you would insist on denying its evidence? Its existence?
Hey, I'm not the bad guy. All I'm saying is that as the prosecutor for that case, I wasn't handed such a picture.
That may well be. But that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Behold!
This is the evidence list for the SO9 incident?
Please turn it over, Your Honor.
Turn it over? Turn it... Ah! What's this?
Not the right orientation.
Yes, what is that?
Hey, that's it! That's the picture I drew!
Indeed, 2 men appear to be wrestling here. What's the meaning of this? What are you doing with that list?
Me?
Only prosecutor in charge should have access to that list. Huh? These lists, they're different from each other. What? It would appear, Mr. Edgeworth, that the evidence list you were handed 2 years ago was incomplete. These 2 lists fit together to form one. You can see the marks here where they were torn apart from each other.
So you see, Mr. Edgeworth, it's quite obvious what happened. 2 years ago, only half of the evidence in that case ever reached you.
What? What?
Boy's pissed. I would be too. I don't get real with you. Keeping secrets like that. Not nice. Not nice. You can't do that. Can't be doing that out here.
Order, order. But Miss Sky, why did you draw your picture on the back of such an important list?
Because that's what the detective handed me in the questioning room, Your Honor.
God, I couldn't read for a second.
Wait a minute. If this list was torn in half, then that means... Your Honor! Are you alright, Mr. Wright? Your eyes are bulging from your head.
If the evidence list was torn in half, then there might be more of the drawing on the back of Mr. Edgeworth's list.
I was thinking that Detective Goodman ripped it in half himself, which is he took part in, you know, the forging of the evidence. But that's a cooler conclusion. All right. So Phoenix had one part and Edgeworth had the other half. Basically, last episode, or last stream, which is the same episode, Phoenix went into Damon Gant's office and saw him slip the evidence list inside his drawer. Once he left and he returned, once he left and they returned to his office, they took the evidence list from his drawer, and Phoenix looked at the back of it, and that's what the drawing was. So this is originally Damon Gant's, and the list that Edgeworth has is his because he took over the prosecution for that case. All right.
Yes, that's quite conceivable, Mr. Edgeworth. It's possible. Let's see. Is something wrong?
Do you even have to ask?
Sorry, Your Honor. There's indeed something drawn on the back of my list. That is that thing.
Are you serious? I'm gonna have nightmares with this goddamn theme, bro. I'm gonna have nightmares. Nightmares, bro. Okay, for context, this is the blue badger. If you can't tell by its little gesture-shaped head, this is the blue badger, and that's the same icon that was on the back of Edgeworth's list. Dude, I'm gonna have PTSD. I hate that.
That's it. That's that. That thing. That thing was dancing in the evidence room. Clearly, this act of vandalism is the work of a certain chief of detectives.
I guess he was out of scrap paper. Evidence was restored and updated in the court record. Oh, that makes more sense. They were ripped in half like that. Okay, okay.
Very well. Witness. Will you please testify about this picture you drew 2 years ago?
Huh? Oh, yes, sir, Your Honor.
What's wrong with Emma? She seems to be thinking about something when she was looking at the picture. Witness testimony, Emma's picture. We're probably gonna have to object about something here.
This is the picture I drew 2 years ago. The flash of lightning was so bright, all I could see were 2 shadows. After that, I must have fainted. This picture shows exactly what I saw in that instant.
To think a flash of lightning could burn such an image in your mind.
Thanks to that, though, she was able to show us exactly what she saw.
Well, I don't see any contradictions here. This clearly shows that Joe Dark about to murder prosecutor Neil Marshall. The defense may now begin its cross-examination.
Cross-examination, Emma's picture. Let's do it. We'll press on everything as per usual. Did you draw this picture right after the incident?
I think I drew it 2 or 3 days later. At first, I was in such a state of shock that I couldn't do anything.
During that time, the investigation team was reorganized. Detective Goodman was placed in charge, under the direction of Damon Gant and Lana Sky.
2 or 3 days later. The memory should still have been fresh in her mind.
Excuse me, witness. But can you please tell us why this picture is painted all black?
So at the time you didn't even know it was Mr. Marshall who had come to your rescue?
No, I couldn't see him clearly. The lightning was so bright, and I was knocked to the floor.
You were
knocked to the floor? Dark had a tight grip on me, but when Mr. Marshall jumped on him, I was knocked away. I turned around, and that's when the lightning flashed. Poor Emma. I'm just glad she wasn't hurt.
What happened after the lightning flashed?
After that, I must have fainted.
You mean you didn't see the actual murder take place?
No, I'm sorry.
The flash of lightning only drove off the darkness for a split second. Not only that, but the trauma of the situation understandably caused the witness to faint. Do you really need to torture this girl any further?
What? Hey, I'm not the bad guy here.
Anyway, this picture.
I think it's just exactly what I saw in that instant. Sorry for asking so many times, but are you sure you do exactly what you saw?
Of course, this is the exact scene.
It wasn't influenced by in any way from your talks with the detectives?
Are you insinuating we somehow manipulated her memory, Mr. Wright?
Nope, no, of course not. I better watch out, or you might find some way to cut my salary.
I drew this picture before I heard anything from the detectives, so I don't think anyone's story would have influenced me.
Mr. Wright, is there something that's bothering you about this picture?
Huh? Oh, well. That's strange. She claims this is exactly the scene that was imprinted in her mind. And yet, there's clearly a contradiction here.
I'm so confused.
Can I rotate? No. There's a lot of evidence. Yeah, there's 3 pages of evidence. Stabbed in the back. Died from punctured heart and lung. And we got stabbed in the chest. That makes sense. I feel like I really, really should know. Deceased Neil Marshall, 27, male. Time between death, February 19, between 7 p.m. and 7:30 p.m. Cause death, single stab wound, piercing heart and lung. Assessed died from blood loss in under 10 minutes. Weapon found in the wound was missing tip. Terzi, why is Emma on trial? Welcome, Terzi. Yeah, Emma was called to the stand because we're reviewing the SL9 incident. The only thing that comes to mind, really. Broken toe was found in the bag volume belonging to the murderer, Doe Dark. You already looked at what it was? I know I'm an idiot. I know. I'm just gonna go with what I think it is. Okay. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but this picture the witness drew contains a blatant contradiction.
What? But I still remember it just like it was yesterday.
Mr. Wright, perhaps it would be faster if you simply pointed out this contradiction for us. What part of this picture contradicts the autopsy report?
He's covering his chest.
I think it's this part here.
I don't see what's so strange about that.
That's because the drawing stinks. Are we serious?
Mr. Wright, how could you?
The act of making an innocent girl cry should warrant the death penalty.
I guess he means I shouldn't shift the blame to others.
Yes, well, so long as the defense has learned his lesson.
All right. I don't remember the autopsy report or the report. So he bled out. He stabbed in the chest because he's covering his chest here, is what I'm thinking. But it's clearly wrong, right? Oh, I'm so stupid. It's probably so obvious too. I want to look at the court record again, man. I want to look at the court record again. I want to look at the court record. This is so annoying. The hand, I'm gonna go. So which hand would this be, right? Because it's facing. He's covering his chest. That's what I'm thinking. That's wrong. That's what I was thinking, but I'm wrong. I already clicked the chest and it didn't. Am I this stupid? I'm just gonna go with this. Okay. The contradiction, of course, lies here. Take a look at the knife the man is holding. If you look closely, you can see its tip is broken. How am I supposed? Okay, hold on. Okay, before you guys say this is so obvious, guys, it's a sketch. How am I supposed to assume that the fact that the knife isn't like perfectly sharp is because it's broken? How am I supposed to know that? It's not how? It's a sketch. How am I supposed to assume that detail indicates that it's broken? It could just be she drew bad. What? Okay. If you look closely, you can see its tip is broken.
Even I don't have to look closer to see that, Mr. Wright.
Mr. Wright, look at the evidence. See the murder weapon? Its tip is broken too.
If I recall, the tip of the knife was found broken off in the victim's body.
It was a conclusive piece of evidence that proved that Joe Dark was the murderer.
I'm afraid it's not so simple, Emma. Oh, I can't talk.
And where, pray tell, could you possibly see a problem?
It's obvious, really. The victim suffered a single stab wound to the back. I thought I could have sworn it said to the chest. Am I insane? Oh, it was in the back. Okay, I'm stupid. If the victim was only stabbed once, then the murder weapon should not yet be broken.
Ah, what's the meaning of this? Perhaps the knife was broken beforehand.
You know that's a stupid defense. Sorry, but I'm afraid that's not possible. The tip of the knife was found inside the victim's body. If it was broken beforehand, it couldn't have possibly wind up there.
That's right. But what does this mean?
God, don't even let the judge talk. Like, okay, hold on. Real quick, I just want to point this out. Okay, you guys calling me stupid for not realizing the knife was broken is like me saying this is a contradiction because they don't have fingers. You know what I mean? The drawing isn't detailed. I can't assume that the knife not being sharp means it is broken. But you know what? Whatever. I got it in the end anyway.
The tip of the knife was undeniably discovered within the victim's body. The only possible explanation is the witness' memory is mistaken.
That's why I asked her so many times if she was sure she remembered correctly. I believe you were annoyed at the time, but she was sure she remembered correctly.
Well, there's no other way to explain this inconsistency.
Oh God, my eye! Stop! No, not so fast, Mr. Edgeworth. There is another explanation. Have you forgotten already? About a little something called falsified evidence?
You're treading on thin ice, Wright.
All I'm saying is that this broken knife tip might be the piece of evidence that was forged. You can't deny the possibility.
No. Ugh. Order. Are you saying the investigation really was corrupted?
Your Honor, please allow me to once again go over the events that took place the day of the murder. The police department and the prosecutor's office are holding a ceremony that day. After receiving the King of Prosecutors Award at the ceremony, Neil Marshall questioned Joe Dark along with Damon Gant. During his questioning, Joe Dark fled the room. Prosecutor Marshall chased after him, and he was killed by Dark. It is my belief that somewhere in the story, there is a lie. I'm not lying. The man really was holding up a broken knife.
If that's true, then there's no other way around it. This could not have been the actual murder weapon. There must have been another broken knife.
What are the chances of there being
What are the chances of there being two broken knives?
Another broken knife beside Joe Dark's. Could there have been one? Why? Why this? AI 16 runs on the tag. That means it's nothing to do with the current case. I'm tempted to say yes. Did they ever blood test the knife? Hello, by accident. Welcome to stream. There is Edgeworth's knife, but that's not. There needs to be another broken knife. This is the switchblade. This is the Joe Dark knife. My question is the unstable jar and where the blood is from. Dark red stains must be blood traces from the incident 2 years ago. Only the fragment found in Chief Gant's office still has lines remaining on it. The witness is this adamant about the accuracy of what she saw. I was a little dumb. What a shame.
It can't just be explained away by a simple observational error. Mr. Wright. In that instant, Emma really did see a broken knife.
I assume then that you have some information about this other broken knife. If so, please feel free to enlighten us.
The murder weapon was already broken prior to the murder. There's only one way. Take a look at this. Here's the real murder weapon. His own knife that he already used. Piece of cloth. It'd have to be like Edgeworth's knife, right? Seen it so many times. That's why you know. You can't expect me to know when I don't have the full story. It's so easy to connect the dots after you've played the game. You understand that, Silver, please. Look at this. Here's the real murder weapon. The answer lies in the past. 2 years ago. 2 years in the past. Right here inside this picture. This is the picture of the award ceremony. Oh, sorry.
This is the picture of the award ceremony. What's this, Mr. Edgeworth? It's the broken murder weapon.
Notice the award prosecutor marshal is holding. That's a broken knife. As we earlier concluded, the knife in the drawing was not Joe Dark's knife. That being the case, the knife the witness saw was in all likelihood from this award.
Order, order, order.
Neil Marshall was awarded King of Prosecutors that day. As an award, he was given this broken shield and knife. When he chased after Joe Dark, he pulled out this knife. Being a prosecutor, did not carry a pistol. This broken knife was the only weapon he had in this dangerous situation.
But that can't be.
Oh? And why not, Mr. Edgeworth?
Because of the knife, because of the King of Prosecutors Award knife was the murder weapon, and the murderer and the victim will be reversed.
What do you mean?
I mean, this man raising a knife would have been Prosecutor Neil Marshall. Oh! But the prosecutor was the one who actually died.
That's true. What's going on here?
It seems Mr. White has been a bit too eager to jump to conclusions.
Wait, I remember now. I remember everything.
Witness?
Mr. Edgeworth,
What is it?
could you show me your evidence list again, please?
His list? The one with that picture scribbled on the back?
I knew it. This picture. I'm the one who drew it. Yeah, we know that.
What?
Oh, the actual like doodle. Yeah, okay, I got it. You drew that? That's right. The list wasn't torn in half at the time I drew this picture. I hate this theme so goddamn much. All this time I've been trying so hard to forget. I must have locked this part away deep inside me.
Perhaps it would be best if we added this to the witness's testimony.
No shit.
Would you please tell us what you were called, Miss Guy?
Didn't Emma say the blue edge look cute? Anyone can say that, though. Yes, Your Honor. First a knife mix-up, and now the blue badger? I want to run a car over the blue badger. Based. This should be interesting.
Witness's testimony. Emma's recollection.
When I saw that man raise his knife, I panicked and rushed towards both of them. I think I knocked away the man with the knife. Just then there was another flash of lightning, and that's when I saw the blue badger. He wasn't in the room, but I'm sure I saw his shadow.
What?
This is certainly most unusual.
Thank you.
Try impossible. The chief of detectives hadn't even designed him until this year.
That would mean he didn't even exist 2 years ago.
Yes, well, the defense may now begin its cross-examination.
Lana,
Oh, sorry. Hold on.
stop, please. Don't pursue this any further.
Lana!
What's the meaning of this? Please remain seated in the defendant's chair.
But you can't do this. I've already confessed to the crime. Why can't you just leave it at that?
Chief Prosecutor Sky. We've already come this far. It's too late to turn back. Silence! The defense will now begin its cross-examination. Balif, please detain the defendant.
It seems we're finally getting to the core of the matter. Damn, Lana's getting detained. Cross-examination, Emma's recollection. We press everything as per usual, boys. When you say that man, I assume you refer to Joe Dark?
Yes, at least I think it was him.
You think?
All I could really see were shadows.
The power outage that immediately preceded the incident is also documented in the prosecutor office reports. So then you...
Pennington Russia, both of them. Why would you do something so dangerous?
What else could I have done? He was about to stab Mr. Marshall.
She seems convinced that Dark was the one holding the knife.
But as we just theorized, Mr. Marshall was the one holding the knife.
Well, I didn't know that at the time.
How did he get so unlucky to almost die in a power outage? I don't know, man. Couldn't be me.
When that dark guy knocked me down, all I could think was, I've got to help that other person.
What do you mean, you think?
It all happened so fast, and I was in shock. I don't remember everything clearly. What I did, it's all kind of a blur.
Miss Sky was almost killed before Miss Sky was almost killed before she was witness to a murder about to take place. With so much happening in a matter of seconds, a little disorientation is only natural.
I saw the man about to stab the other person, who I thought was Mr. Marshall. I knew I had to stop the man with the knife.
What you did was very brave, young girl. So then what happened next?
True, actually. There's another flash of lightning, and that's when I saw the blue badger. Are you sure about this?
Of course, see? I even drew a picture of him here.
Here's the thing. Why is he sideways?
But it was the chief of detectives who thought up this hideous beast. And that was just this year. The blue badger didn't exist 2 years ago. This is all quite verifiable.
I know it sounds strange. I was surprised too when I saw him at the police department. I had this nagging feeling that I'd seen him before somewhere. Now I finally remember.
Oh, brother. Just when you thought that thing had caused enough commotion.
Tell us, where in the room did you see him dancing?
He wasn't in the room, but I'm sure I saw his shadow. His shadow? So you mean you didn't actually see his face with its winning smile and all?
That's right, but I still remember it. He had 3 creepy horns.
Could it be?
This is pointless. That thing couldn't have possibly existed 2 years ago. The witness must be mistaken.
That may well be.
But what's important is what caused her to think she saw what she did. Jesus Christ, that's such a sentence.
Oh, and I suppose you have an explanation? If so, then by all means, please tell us what this shadow really was.
What was it that Emma saw when that lightning flashed? Who is this blue badger really? My biggest hunch is the jar. I know this is weird. But my mind is thinking, if you spin this jar around, because this handle's broken, right? But if you spin this jar around, I don't know. Maybe. It might be a stretch. It might be a stretch. But if you spin it like this, it kind of sort of resembles the picture. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. Absolutely impossible. Positively have no idea whatsoever.
Well, it's always good to be sure of oneself. Apparently it helps in trying to overlook one's failures.
But I know what I saw. I'm not making this up. Mr. Wright, please, you've got to believe me.
Emma. Badger didn't even exist 2 years ago, so what exactly did Emma see? All that's left now is to put the puzzle pieces together. Alright. I suppose they do look similar in a way. Kinda, I don't know. She said she saw 3 horns, right? Which, to be fair, the blue badger has like a jester hat, not horns, but whatever. It could have been the armor. I'm trying to think. Hey, you're killing me. Just calm down, Silver, please. Control yourself. I don't know why I'm looking at this. Thank God his team doesn't play. Sorry, the theme slaps. I assume I have to continue. I have to present it, whatever it may be. All right, I'll press this one more time. All right. I assume I have to do this to proceed. The blue badger hadn't even been dreamt up when Emma drew this picture. Yet she's certain she saw its shadow. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the defense's belief that on that fateful day 2 years ago, there indeed was something that looked similar to the blue badger. Something that is now sitting in this very room. Mr. Wright!
In this room? Very well, Mr. Wright. What is it that the witness saw in that instant? Please show us this mysterious blue badger look-alike.
I know, that's what I'm thinking. This vase. Or the jar. It's a jar. They call it a jar. It's a vase. Whatever. It has blood on it. Why? I'm going with my gut. The mysterious blue badger was in fact this.
But that's... what exactly is that?
I believe it's some sort of jar. But Mr. Wright, that doesn't look anything like the blue badger. Indeed it doesn't. As it stands now, it's just a plain jar. However, what if we were to change our viewpoint?
Our viewpoint?
We've got to show them the correct angle to show this, to look at this from. I don't know.
this, right? This is about as close as it gets, right? Unless I... No, this has to be it. You see what I mean? You see, you know what I'm saying? This is about as close as it gets, right? This is as close as it gets. I have it. Unless there's another way to orient it. I don't think so, though, right? This isn't right. I've got to make it look more like the badger.
Allow me to remind the defense its case hinges on the witness's drawing. If Mr. Wright can't match the shape of the witness drew, we cannot accept his claim.
Got to find just the right angle. Maybe I should rotate it vertically a bit more, or horizontally. Come on, Mr. Wright, you can do it. Got to show them the correct angle to look at this from. Like, you can almost see it, right? Like, I wasn't that far off. At least I don't feel like I was. Because you don't have the middle horn, right? Well, I'll be back in a sec. Take your time, Silver. I think you need a breather. Like, I can't get the middle horn. I'm happy it doesn't drain your penalty. Let's just go with this. Nope. I would've gotten like 7 guilties because of this. Thank God they didn't do that. Because like you can kind of see it, right? Like you see the 2 horns, you can't find the 3rd one. How do you get the 3rd one to show? Is it like this? Bro! How do you line this up? Oh my God. It's super accurate. Are you serious? Oh! Well, is this a miracle or what? No one can possibly deny this jar's resemblance to the blue badger. I'm a G, you know what I'm saying? It's just me.
No, it can't be! Order! The defense has proven its claim. The mysterious blue badger witness on the day of the crime was actually this. Although we all enjoyed Mr. Wright's dramatic performance, one question remains. What's your point?
What do you mean?
So that badger thing was actually just a jar. That doesn't change anything.
Of course it does, you dumbass. I'm afraid that's where you're wrong, Mr. Edgeworth. You see, this changes everything.
Indeed. Very well then, please tell us. What's different now that we know that the witness saw this jar?
I'm gonna say the murderer? It would be the murderer or the location. I don't think the murder weapon's that important. I think the murderer.
Allow me to take these in turn. At the moment of the murder, the witness saw this jar.
At the very specific angle, might I add, Mr. Wright.
Yes, well, knowing this, where could she have seen this jar?
Where?
The location of the jar is shown in a picture taken on the day of the crime. It's on a shelf in the office of Damon Gant.
But the body was found lying near Lana Sky's desk. The witness testified so herself.
Yes, and it's these two facts that reveal what actually transpired. You see, the struggle between Dark and Marshall did not take place in Lana Sky's office. It happened on the other side of the room, in Chief Gant's office.
Are you implying the murderer moved the victim's body from Damon Gant's office to Lana Sky's office?
Yes.
Why would he do that? There's no reason.
Exactly. If there wasn't a reason, he wouldn't have gone through the trouble. The only logical conclusion is that there was a reason.
Do you know what that reason was, Mr. Wright?
I finally figured it out. So this is why Lana tried to stop the trial. It's too late to quit now, though. Please recall the witness's testimony. All right, I need to pay attention because I'm actually a little lost here. She says she knocked away the man who was holding up the knife. In the next instant, the jar was hit and flew through the air. Now tell me, what could have sent the jar flying?
That would have to have been the impact of the man made when he knocked into the wall.
Ladies and gentlemen, if I may draw your attention to this picture once more. If the man was knocked in the direction of the shelf the jar was sitting on, what would have hit? What would he have hit?
The suit of armor, holding a very sharp and dangerous looking sword.
Yes. And since the man who was knocked into the armor was carrying a broken knife, he would have had to have been Neil Marshall wielding the King of Prosecutors trophy.
No, Mr. Wright, you can't be thinking.
Yes. There was another possibility of what actually transpired in that room.
Another possibility?
Of course, the perpetrator would have had no idea, but nevertheless, I don't know if I can go through with this.
Mr. Wright, what's the matter? If the events took place as the defense theorizes, then the outcome is obvious. In that moment, assuming the man Emma Sky knocked away was actually Prosecutor Neil Marshall.
You mean Mr. Marshall died because of me? No!
I never imagined a testimony would lead to this. So it was the witness who took the victim's life, and then proved so with her own testimony. This is unprecedented.
What? What are you saying? I'm sorry, Miss Sky, but given the circumstances. Joe Dark murdered Prosecutor Marshall. How can you think it was Emma? How dare you try to pin the crime on her?
Imagine that coming from you. If you recall, it was you who admitted to forging evidence 2 years ago. The reason you moved Prosecutor Marshall's body was to keep anyone else from finding out about what Emma did, wasn't it?
I assure you, Mr. Edgeworth, I have no idea what you're talking about. If you have to have anyone believe your insane allegations, I'm afraid you're going to have to have proof. Tell me, do you have any conclusive evidence that proves my sister killed Neil Marshall? Evidence? I'm willing to bet you don't.
Yes, it certainly would be difficult to prove this with evidence. If we don't have evidence, then we'll have to rely on testimony.
I'm afraid that won't work in this case. Both parties involved in the incident are dead.
We certainly can't get dead people to testify. Yeah, no shit. This has been all wild goose chase from the beginning.
Touche, Miss Sky. Of course. That only leaves us with one possibility.
You mean there's still another possibility?
What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth? I mean the possibility that the victim has left us a message. For better or for worse, Mr. Marshall did not die instantly. He may have been left behind the name of the person who took his life. In one manner or another.
That's impossible.
Well, Mr. Wright, this is the only possibility left to you. A message from the deceased. Does such a message exist?
I've got to think back to the court record. The real murderer's name that the victim may have left behind.
Name of the deceased, Neil Marshall. Wait a minute.
Single stab, 10 minutes. What was the tip? This is jar. Final fragment found in Chief Gant's safe. SL9 incident. Extremely thin rubber glove. What about this rubber glove is even relevant? SL9 has been on the tag. It seems there's more evidence in the incident. Whose rubber glove would it be? None of this is important. None of this is important. Real murderer's name that the victim may have left behind. I'm assuming it will be this. This is Emma's footprint, the fingerprints on it. There's also the jar. Record since beef blotches in the incident 2 years ago. The only fragment found in Chief Gant's safe has lines on it. This message from the deceased is already in our possession.
Mr. Wright, will you stop at nothing to prove my sister is a murderer?
Do not be mistaken, Miss Sky. Our purpose is not to accuse Emma of any crime. There is only one thing we seek. The truth. No matter how painful it may be. Now then, Mr. Wright, please show us the piece of evidence that conveys a message from the deceased.
No, not my goddamn attorney's badge. It's either this or the piece of cloth. Okay, so the jar got... So he got thrown into the jar. Right? That's how blood got on it? I'm doing the cloth. This is the message from the deceased.
Right. Now then, this is the message from the judge.
That's really funny. Have to be in written form? It's the only logical conclusion.
You better be careful, you might wind up deceased yourself.
Let's try this again. Now the Mr. Right. Okay, so this is in written form. I guess I didn't think about that. Single stab wound, piercing, long assessment done from blood on 10 minutes, weapon, dip. On to Joe Dark. It has to be the jar, right? Oh shit, I skipped by accident. Oh, I skipped by accident. Shit. I thought I was gonna be wrong. I don't know why. I had no faith. Hold on. I'm gonna rewind the VOD. Hold on. This is a message left by the deceased.
This is that Blue Badger from before, right?
Oh, is he just gonna speak the killer's name?
If that thing could, I'm sure it would.
Looks like everyone's forgotten this is just a jar. A message was left here on the surface of this jar.
What do you mean?
If you look closely, you can see a faint trail of blood on this jar. Oh! I didn't think of it like that.
It looks like someone wiped the blood away.
Yes, but notice. For some reason, the blood on some of the fragments was not wiped away. Yes, there's a line here, drawn in blood. Oh, sorry.
Yes, there's a line here, drawn in blood. So what you're saying is, these dots were once lines.
Prosecutor Marshall did not die instantly. He used a few precious moments left to him to leave behind a message.
One that someone apparently wiped away. But blood must have seeped into the jar where the lines changed directions.
Precisely so. All we need to do is connect these points, and the victim's message will become apparent.
No.
Mr. Wright, what kind of message did the victim leave for us?
Your Honor, I believe these bloodstains will reveal to us the answer. Gotta connect these dots to make letters. There's only one thing the victim would have written, given the circumstances. His murderer's name. I don't think that's right. Hold on. Wait a minute. I'm trying to spell Gant because I feel like that's right. This doesn't look right. Okay, so this connects in 2 ways. Doesn't connect anywhere else. That's not right. This can't be right either. Hold on. Oh. Well, it's a defense attorney's duty to prove their client's innocence. That's why all I've been thinking about is saving Lana. After all my efforts, I never thought it would turn out like this. In a box instead of an E. Emma.
So this is the final message Prosecutor Marshall left behind. Of all people. She may not have meant it, but in the end, the one who took the victim's life was Emma Skye.
See, Worthy? Can't say I didn't warn you. I hate this guy's theme.
Chief Gant.
Do you understand the implications of what you've done?
What? What are you talking about?
2 years ago, Joe Dock was sentenced to death. He was convicted because of his final murder. I believe you were the prosecutor in the case, were you not?
Ugh.
Yes, Worthy. Because of you, an innocent man was sentenced to death. Not only that, but you used forged evidence to ensure his conviction.
But Joe Dark really was a serial murderer. That's undeniable.
I'm afraid that's not important. Didn't you know? We aren't defenders of justice.
What?
We're merely keepers of the law. Sentencing a man to death is no light matter, even if there wasn't any cover-up or evidence forgery. Ultimately, the responsibility falls on the prosecutor in charge. Oh, they're keeping the laughter. I was trying not to spell Emma, okay? In my defense, I was trying not to spell Emma, because I didn't want to spell Emma. Despite what anyone may say, this fact cannot be denied. What's going on at the prosecutor's office? How can he just stand there like it wasn't his fault? Order, 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 order! The gavel's pounding fell on deaf ears. Unable to settle the crowd, the judge declared a recess. Where this trial is headed, no one knows. To be continued. Save it up. Final day, trial ladder. All right, hold on. All right, I'm crying. Emma was my favorite. Emma's gonna be fine, hopefully. You just don't want to believe the truth. That's understandable. Yeah, I really didn't. I thought Emma was cool. I mean, she did it by accident at the end of the day. But, you know. February 25th, 12:06, District Court, Defendant Lobby, number 2. Sorry, Edgeworth. I didn't mean to get you in trouble. Ugh.
Don't worry about it. This is my problem, not yours.
Hope we're not interrupting anything, pals.
Skelly, I need you to understand that any noise I make is not what you think it is, okay? I can make noises. I can stretch. God damn. Anyway.
Oh, I guess I am. I'll come back later. See?
I had to do it. Wait, Detective Gumshoe. What is it?
You've got a lot of nerve, pal. Making a detective run around while on duty. And to top it off, you call me here. I've seen happier people at funerals.
I take it Lana's having you run errands again?
Let me tell you, this is the last time, pal. Here, she asked me to give this to you if there was a break in today's trial.
Evidence law? Edge was talking about this the other day.
You must know the 2 rules of evidence law. Rule 1, no evidence shall be shown without approval of the police department.
Is that right, Mr. Wright?
It seems so.
You could at least study some evidence law. Really? The chief prosecutor also wanted me to give you a message.
A message?
She said, if you're planning to take him on, you're going to need this book.
Him. I guess I'll need to give this book a thorough read. Evidence law from Miss Guy explains the 2 rules of evidence law.
Don't look like that book will do you any good, though. All that's left now is the chief prosecutor's sentence.
That's where you're wrong, detective.
Huh?
Haven't you figured it out yet? Why I'm still sitting in that prosecutor's seat? Despite all these allegations being thrown at me?
Mr. Edgeworth! The real
trial today hasn't begun yet.
What? What else is there left to do? Your credibility's been all but ruined with the forged evidence you were unaware of. And this guy found out she unwittingly caused a man's death. And now, you're telling me you want to do more? You gotta be kidding me, pal.
You're missing the point, detective. Lana didn't murder Detective Goodman. She merely stuck a knife into his dead body. That means the real killer is still out there.
What?
And we're going to expose him, no matter what it takes. This case hurt too many people. It's time to bring it to an end. Last stretch, boys. February 29th, 12:52, District Court, courtroom number 9. It's time to end this shit.
Court will now reconvene for the trial of Miss Lana Skye. Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, Your Honor. The Inquiry Committee is planning to impose harsh penalties for your actions. Thank you for the news, Your Honor. Yes, well, normally this is where the prosecution calls forth a witness, but, this isn't easy to say. You see, there's some concern that you, Mr. Edgeworth, may have, struck a bargain. You think I may have manipulated the witnesses? I didn't say that. It's just, you see, everyone has been talking and... Very well, Your Honor. I have a solution. A solution? That being the case, the prosecution will allow the defense to call forth all further witnesses. What? But there's no precedent for what you're proposing. Undeniably, this is an unusual arrangement, but a very effective one. It would prove that I haven't struck any deals with the witnesses. Well, Mr. Wright, what do you say?
Unbelievable. Edgeworth has found a way to continue the trial. Very well, the defense accepts the prosecution's proposal. I swear I saw a bug on my wall.
Then it's settled. The defense may now call forth the next witness. Mr. Wright, you do realize it's your last chance. If you call the wrong witness, this trial is as good as over.
Defense calls. Oh, I got my meter refreshed. Let's go. The defense calls. It's finally come to bring out the real murderer. It's obviously Miss Angel Star, guys. Anyway. I could call Chief Gant. I think Chief Gant is the play. Obviously no, obviously no, obviously no, because he's goddamn dead. Obviously no, maybe, probably not, and definitely no. I think Damon Gant is the only good option here.
Damon Gant. The defense calls Damon Gant to the stand. Did Damon Gant? What does he have to do with anything?
As a defendant's partner 2 years ago, Mr. Gant has first-hand knowledge of the crime. I feel we should hear what he has to say about it.
As luck would have it, he should still be in the courthouse. He would also be the least likely to have been manipulated by me in any way. Wouldn't you agree, Your Honor? True. All right, Balif, please escort Mr. Gant to the stand.
He's growing on me in terms of doing his voice. His voice is actually really fun to do because he's like sinister but old and like cheery. It's really fun.
Witness, please state your name and occupation.
What is this? Some kind of practical joke? I was just on my way to lunch.
Your name and occupation, sir.
Worthy, are you sure you want to do this?
Your name and occupation.
So, you want to play hardball, eh?
But please, Mr. Gant.
Fine. My name is Damon Gant. I'm the acting chief of police.
Now then, Chief Gant, the court requests to hear your testimony.
Oh, righto. What's with the grim face?
First, let's clear up this SL9 incident. And his theme is actually starting to grow on me too. This part is actually really pretty. The start of it is really freaky. This little dun, dun, is really freaky, but the little middle part is really nice. I like it. Anyway, sorry, he's growing on me. I kind of like him.
Oh, you mean the time when Lana's sister murdered that prosecutor? Personally, I think it's been made pretty clear already.
There are still some things unaccounted for.
Oh, like what?
Like the role you played in all of this.
Son, either you're very brave or very foolish. You are aware, of course, that a chief of police has all kinds of weapons at his disposal.
Weapons?
Sure, take my testimony, for example. I don't have to give it if I don't want to.
What? Is that true?
I'm afraid so. The chief of police has the right to refuse to testify. Of course, such an action carries with it certain risks.
Don't worry, I'm not here to end your trial. Just remember, if this turns out to be a big waste of time, don't say I didn't warn you.
Very well. The witness may begin his testimony.
May now begin his testimony. Witness testimony, SL9 incident.
As I recall, Neil and I were questioning him that day. To make a long story short, we slipped up. That power hours didn't help either. When I went to my office, I found Lana there. Apparently, she had already arranged the crime scene. As you can see, I had nothing to do with the forgery.
Is that when Doc was arrested?
Him? He was out on the floor unconscious. We never sent Neil flying. It seems Doc bumped his head.
How much strength did this girl have? She was like, and it's like, sent him flying like a smash or something? What the hell? He wouldn't have flown that high in the air, you know what I mean? Which is probably gonna come into contingency later.
We never sent Neil flying. It seems Doc bumped his head.
I see. Everything seems pretty clear cut.
The police chief has the right to refuse to testify.
Then I better hit him hard and fast.
Call examination. The SL9 incident. Oh. I read Dark as Drake. How you read him as Darky? As I recall, a ceremony was held at the police department that day. Yes, that's right. I guess you could say I was a workaholic. I'm a workaholic. After winning his award, Neil was all fired up too. That's probably what spooked Dark and made him run away, that lad.
Was the defendant Lana Sky also present in the room?
I don't quite remember. At the very least, she wasn't there when Dark ran for it. Make a long story short, we slipped up, the pirates didn't help either. So the two of you ran immediately after him, right? That's right. But Dark made it to the elevator first. So Neil and I split up. He went upstairs and I went downstairs. I guess you could say he got lucky.
Was this about a power outage?
I'm back. What I miss? We have called Damon Gann to the stand to testify about the SL9 incident. We've just learned that, what is it called? Mr. What's his face? I'm trying to remember. I promise. Mr. Neil Marshall, the guy that died in the SL9 incident, drew Emma's name on a jar. So yeah. So Emma is basically the one who murdered Neil Marshall. Supposedly. Maybe it's true, maybe it's not. We'll see. Anyway, we're talking to Mr. Gann on the stand. All right. Oh, that. The elevator stopped all of a sudden, and I got the shock of my life. Well. Is Gann still suspected? Well, he isn't a suspect yet, but I am suspecting him. If you're wondering. Probably not as shocked as Neil was when that knife went to his heart, though. That's not funny. Could you tell us what you saw? It was a shock inside. Neil and the serial killer were lying in a heap on the floor, all tangled together. Dark was also lying collapsed on the floor. He's as normal as a human tangerine. Pretty accurate, yeah. He even got the green eyes. You know, like the little stem where the tangerine connects to the stem of the flower. That green part, that's his eyes. Sorry. And his tie of the seeds. Anyway, yes, apparently he hit his head and was knocked out. Next to them were those two poor girls, Lana and Emma. Lana was cradling Emma in her arms. Looking back at it now, she must have already known what her sister had done. How can you know that? Because of the victim's body. It had already been moved.
So that means you found the body near Lana's desk?
Why am I yawning? This happens every single Ace Attorney stream at this point. My brain gets tired of thinking and talking. That's right. I think you said earlier. It was my suit of armor that really stabbed the prosecutor. Yes. Anyway. So you're saying that the forgery had already taken place at the time you arrived at your office? That's exactly what I'm saying. I can understand how Lana must have felt. But moving a body and hiding evidence are inexcusable no matter what the circumstances. Is that how it really went down?
Staring at the witness won't do you any good, Mr. Wright. If you're going to stare at anything, you'd better be off staring at the court record.
Worthy, always the smooth talker. Which piece of evidence? Yeah, no, I know. I know what it is, don't worry. We all know you had something to do with the evidence, my boy. At the end of the day, final fragment was found in your safe. You claim you had nothing to do with the forgery? But I'm afraid that is a claim you cannot back up. Explain yourself. Several pieces of evidence are found in your office. Take this jar, for example.
That's the blue badge you showed us earlier. A piece of this jar was discovered in your safe. Not only that, but the evidence list I presented earlier was actually found inside your desk. It was found where? You see, Chief Gant, these articles of evidence uncovered in your office are both concrete proof that you also played a part in the illegal investigation. Chief Gant, what's the meaning of this?
Oh, he's a defense attorney who may even rival Worthy.
So you admit to it then, that you were involved in the forgery?
Who, me? Or do you mean you?
Me? Why would I have anything to do with that?
Well, you were the one who stuck into my office when you found this evidence. Prosecutors aren't the only ones capable of forging evidence, you know. Defense attorneys can do so too. Isn't that right, Ratto?
However, Detective Gumshoe was present during the investigation.
Worthy, my boy. Not even detectives are exempt from the law. Rest assured, Dick will receive his due punishment.
What? Detective Gumshoe's salary drops any further, he'll end up paying to work. Yes, well, in light of the detective's presence, please give us your testimony regarding these pieces of evidence found in your office and their relation to the forgery that took place at the crime scene.
My. Kids these days no longer know how to put two and two together.
All right. Witness testimony, evidence, and forgery.
Let's see. What was it now? A jar fragment and a list? For all I know, you could have planted them in my office. Anyway, you can't prove when those pieces of evidence were discovered. If they were found after Dark was convicted, then they're worthless. There's no reason I participate in forgery. Rearranging the crime scene wouldn't help me out in any way.
Mr. Wright? Yes, Your Honor? When investigating the crime scene, you should have been more careful to observe protocol.
You do understand that I am the chief of police, right? There will be consequences.
Oh.
Indeed, I believe I'll press charges so you won't make the same mistake again.
My apologies, Chief, but would you mind waiting until tomorrow for that? Today is, well, you know.
Alright, Yuji. In return, though. Wait.
I know. That place, right?
Huh? What are these guys, telepathic? Oh, wait, that was weird.
That tripped me up. I thought the titling was wrong. Anyway, evidence of forgery.
For all I know, you could have planted them in my office. Anyway, you can't prove when those pieces of evidence were discovered. If they were discovered after Dark was convicted, then they're worthless. There's no reason I participate in forgery. Raging in the crime scene wouldn't help me out in any way. I will press this in just a second, but I want to think first. Sorry, the theme's good. All right. Very, very complicated. I really need to read that. All right. We can't prove that he had it, but it was still the evidence list was still attached together when they interviewed Emma, right? And then it was ripped apart later. But why? All right, let's press. What if there was secretly someone else in the room when the murder took place? It's totally possible. I'd appreciate if you stopped making these ridiculous allegations. Yes, you do have a point.
You wouldn't have the guts to do something like that.
What? I'll have you know, back in the day, I once broke into a cattle ranch and tipped. But Mr. Wright, what are you saying?
Anyway, you can't prove you didn't care in the evidence, can you? If you have proof to the contrary, you're going to need it later.
Later? What are you talking about?
What else? I'm talking about when Rido's prints are found. Yes, if they're found inside my safe, it would prove his investigation was illegal.
Never face anyone as slimy as this guy.
Anyway, you can't prove when those his discovered. Okay.
What do you mean by that?
This is all purely hypothetical, of course. But suppose I did place those items in my safe. Such an act wouldn't necessarily constitute forgery.
If concealing evidence found at a crime scene isn't forgery,
I'm not through speaking yet, Rido. It all depends on when the evidence was discovered.
are you saying that this jar fragment wasn't discovered in the initial investigation?
It would appear not. After all, it wasn't listed in the evidence list. For all we know, it could have suddenly materialized the day after Doc was sentenced.
That's wrong. Oh, wouldn't that be convenient?
Right. The chief is talking about a possibility. So long as you can't rule that out, your remarks, however clever they may be, won't succeed in wasting time.
Tell me something I don't know.
Come on now, Rido. Think about it.
Does it say here? This has there's a piece out of the SL9 incident tag on it, right? It's not shown here anymore though. You know that now that we spelled out Emma, by the way, I can actually like totally see it. I can totally see the Emma. Pretty easily written out. But there was an SL9 incident tag on one of the pieces. It's not on the court record anymore, but that was a thing. I don't see it on the actual like physical object now though. No, I don't see it. Pushing it. How can you look at me in the eye and say that?
Because I'm innocent.
Oh, sorry.
Because I'm innocent. Remember? Who was it that murdered Neil?
I'm not sure I can care for the word murder here. But in the end, the person responsible for Mr. Marshall's unfortunate demise was Emma Skye.
Well, now do you see?
Really, Chief Gant? At the very least, there is one large benefit you've reaped from all of this.
Oh? I wasn't aware. What is this benefit?
That would, of course, be the position you have, Chief of Police.
Oh.
The resolution of the SL9 incident secured your promotion to Chief. That in itself is sufficient motive.
Ho ho ho! Oh, that's a good one.
Huh?
Do you really think I'm that incompetent?
What do you mean?
Even without that case, I was already in line to become the next chief. The resolution of the SO9 merely sped up the inevitable a little.
Is that true, Edgeworth?
Yes. He was going to be made chief anyway.
Gah!
Be careful when pointing that finger. And you might wind up being the one pointed at.
So that means there's only one possible motivation for you to commit forgery. If you didn't do it for yourself, then you did it for someone else.
Don't be silly, Worthy. You know better than me. You know me better than that. There are only 3 people I look out for. Me, myself, and I. There, it's out in the open now. Yuji, would you mind if I change my testimony a little?
By all means, please do. I think I know what it is. Nothing in it for you.
Sorry, but the only person I care about is yours truly. That girl, Lana's little sister, was it? If you think I felt sorry for her, you'd better
You better think again, asshole.
You're right. You don't feel sorry for anyone.
Be tough on crime and tough on people. That's how I was raised. Be funny if I killed you, right? Anyway, in a video game.
You seem to be lax enough on yourself, though.
Oh, that's a good one, Worthy. I better get you a good Christmas gift.
Could there have been something in it for him? Given his selfishness, would he have helped someone else out? True, you might not help out anyone for their sake, but it would benefit you. If it would benefit you, you might decide to assist someone.
Mr. Wright, it appears you're positively determined to portray the chief as a nice man who likes to lend people a hand.
That's not what I mean.
Very well, then. Who is this person you believe Chief Gant may have helped forge evidence?
Obviously. Lana Sky.
Chief Prosecutor Lana Sky, the defendant?
I believe it's quite I believe it's quite obvious in light of the circumstances. Sorry, I love his voice. Emma Sky fell victim to an unfortunate series of events. Who would want to help her more than her own sister, Lana? And as for Chief Gant, he would also have reason to help Lana if she asked him to. That reason, of course, is self-profit.
Self-profit? What do you mean?
After the SL9 incident was resolved, Lana Sky was appointed to Chief Prosecutor at the Prosecutor's Office. The person who arranged this job change was you, Chief Gant.
But how would he profit from all of this? He will be able to use the Chief Prosecutor as his puppet. Essentially, he would acquire unchecked authority over all investigations. Do you mean to tell me that despite the Chief's formidable appearance, he plays with puppets?
You dumbass.
Oh, wait. You mean puppet as in someone forced to do his bidding. Never mind.
Admit it, Chief. You assisted Lana Sky in forging evidence. Your motive is to appoint her as Chief Prosecutor so you could control her.
Right, oh my boy. You have quite an imagination. Let me ask you something.
What?
Do you have any proof of this? That I controlled Lana? For example, is Lana testifying that I've done such a thing?
Lana. She's keeping quiet to protect Emma. There's no way she'd testify against Gant.
I'm afraid without proof, this all amounts to nothing more than mere conjecture. Unless that is also what happened in this incident. This incident? Which one would that be? Of course, I'm talking about the murder of Detective Bruce Goodman. The Chief Prosecutor has been acting strange throughout this entire trial. Almost as if someone has been controlling her.
Worthy, you'd better watch your tongue. I wouldn't want you to get hurt.
Just what do you mean?
What he means, Your Honor, is that Chief Gant is involved in the murder of Detective Goodman. Not only that, but the Chief is now making Lana take the rap to cover up his involvement.
What? In my court? Goddamn. Order. I said order! Mr. Wright, you can't be serious.
I broke his voice a little bit. Oops.
This is an affront to the highest ranking officer in our law enforcement agency. To accuse the chief of police of blackmail and murder? That's impossible.
Your Honor, I was merely reiterating what Mr. Edgeworth said in an easier to understand language. Good save, bro. Good save.
It's too late, Mr. Wright. There's no turning back for us now.
Us? Looks like he's the one who decided to go through with this.
Can you prove this, Mr. Wright? That the chief, a high-ranking officer of the law, is involved in this murder?
Good question. Before I get locked in.
Does it say where the knife was found? After the defendant's muffler. How did the body? Because from what we know from Lana, the body of what is it called? The body of the detective was placed in Miles Edgeworth's trunk before she got there. She was asked to move it from Mr. Edgeworth's trunk, if I'm not mistaken. So the question is, how did the body get there in the first place, right? There's this call, and a very important call. It's probably the thing is we don't know too much about the case. Crime was committed. None of this stuff is useful. I don't know what this is for. Maybe to get his car in the right place? I don't know. I still don't understand what this glove is for, aside from it getting jammed in the locker. Let's go on.
Regardless of his rank or title, Chief Gant is just a man. The question is he a criminal? I believe the evidence will tell. I see. All right then. Let's see what Mr. Wright's got, and it better be good. Show us this evidence that ties Chief Gant to the murder of Detective Goodman.
Victim's home was found in the car trunk. Wait. It's this, right? This is ID. This is ID. But we can't prove it's his ID though, right? Oh, shit. There's so much stuff. If you present it at the same time, you can start stringing it together. I'm gonna go with that.
This is the ID card list.
Yes, the one that shows who entered the evidence room on the day of the crime. There was one ID on the list that we couldn't determine, the owner of yesterday. 7777777. Sorry, but there's no way you can prove that that's my card number. It's your number.
What? How do you know that?
The safe in Chief Gant's office requires a code to open. A 7-digit code.
7 digits? You don't mean...
I'm afraid so, Your Honor. The code was 7777777. The same as the remaining ID card number on that list. Chief Gant, you entered the evidence room on the day of the crime!
Oh, he looking pissed. Order! Chief Gant, what do you have to say? Nothing.
The defense is searching my office was in violation of my regulations.
And I will demand that Mr. Wright be punished to the maximum extent of the law. But right now, this court demands an explanation from you about the use of this ID card. Chief Gant, so you admit it. You entered the evidence room on the day of the crime?
What about it? I'm I'm chief of police, whether it's the evidence room or the bathroom. What's the difference? I can go anywhere I want.
Tell me, when you entered the room, were you alone?
I always go to the bathroom alone, as I do with the evidence room.
Detective Goodman wouldn't have happened to be with you that day, would he?
Oh, of course not. Why would he be? I hadn't seen him in days.
You hadn't seen him in days? Chief Gant, I'm afraid you've just undone yourself. On that day, you had to have met with Detective Goodman. What do you mean? This trial's purpose is to determine Lana Sky's guilt. No, it isn't, Your Honor. This trial's purpose is to determine the truth. If Chief Gant met the victim on the day of the crime, then we need to determine one thing. What transpired during that meeting? In that case, Mr. Wright, I'm going to have to ask you for evidence. Show us proof that the victim went to meet Chief Gant on the day of the crime.
For the missing reports, right? Let's here's ID card. This is given to Edgeworth. The stub. The victim is shot in the trunk. Goodman. Do we know if his handwriting or not? I don't think so. It has to be this, right? Can only be submitted to Chief of Police. Yes, let's go. Detective Goodman lost his ID card on the day of the crime.
Or to be more accurate, Jake Marshall stole it.
So Detective Goodman filled out a lost item report. He would have to have given that report to the Chief of Police. Yeah, you're in possession of the report. Which means you can't be sure if he filed it.
He filed it. How do I know, you ask?
Because he needed to enter the evidence room that day.
He needed to?
Yes, to transfer the evidence out.
Oh.
Detective Goodman took the form to you, Chief Gant. Then, you accompanied the detective to the evidence room. I accompanied him.
There's no other way the murderer and the Detective Goodman could have entered the room.
Hold on, let me guess what you're going to say next. I, the Chief of Police, murdered poor Goodman.
Exactly. But wait! The chief didn't necessarily need to accompany him to the evidence room.
Also, what kind of shame?
He could have just lent him his ID card.
Yes. Now that you mention it, I believe I might have done something of the sort.
Sorry, but that's not possible. According to the record, your card was only used once. And you showed us your ID card earlier. If you had really lent it to Detective Goodman, it would have been found on his body. No!
He turned Super Saiyan.
Chief Gant, you didn't.
The murderer was most likely a spur-of-the-moment crime, for no one in their right mind would choose the police department as a place to commit murder. After the murder, you contacted Lana at the prosecutor's office. Why? To depose of Detective Goodman's body, of course.
You're forgetting, Mr. Wright. The victim's body was discovered in the prosecutor's office parking lot. How did he manage to move it there?
I was at the police department the entire day, you know.
And everyone's aware that Lana stayed at the prosecutor's office after the ceremony.
Oh, you're forgetting something very important. Everyone except me, it seems. Still, you're the chief of police. You have an entire police force at your disposal. Oh, so you just think I want an officer to do it? Hey, you take this here dead body over to the prosecutor's office. I don't think so.
Chief Gant, you left all the evidence we need to prove how you moved the body to the prosecutor's office.
And all this time I thought it was a useless clue that was just taking up space. I know what it is.
How could the chief have moved the body? Mr. Wright, show us this evidence.
To move the victim's body, Chief can't use this. It's the screwdriver. Evidence of a past case of Edgeworth brought back to his office by Gant's request. This is how he moved Detective Goodman's body.
What's that? A screwdriver? What does that have to do with this case?
Mr. Edgeworth, think back to the day of the crime. What is the screwdriver doing here?
It's here because... Ah! I was asked to go, by Chief Gant no less. He told me he wanted me to keep it here in the prosecutor's office. In any case, on the day of the stabbings, I brought this back here. After the ceremony ended that day, I didn't plan to return to the prosecutor's office, but you did, because Chief Gant asked you to. You mean I...
The body was found in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car. I think it's obvious what happened. The body was moved by that car!
Detective Goodman's body was carried in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car.
Yes, unless of course, you have another explanation, Chief. Why else would you have asked Mr. Edgeworth to transport evidence from a closed case? There's only one plausible explanation. To transport the body to your accomplice, Miss Lana Skye.
Order, order, order! What is going on here? Is there no room for rebuttal to the defense's outrageous accusations?
Think back to the photograph Miss Starr took at the prosecutor's office. This was not a photo of the body being stuffed in the trunk to be taken away. It was exactly the opposite.
It's a photo of the body being taken from the trunk. Chief Gant, please say something.
I believe your time's up.
My time's up.
Sorry, Rado, but I'm having lunch with the District Attorney General after this. We have to get going if we're going to make it in time for the early bird special. But the cross-examination isn't finished yet. Remember what I told you earlier? A police chief has all kinds of weapons at his disposal.
Weapons?
Like the right to refuse to testify. I'm invoking that right now.
What? That is not a right to be casually revoked. There are certain risks to be considered. So you're going to just run away after all this?
Run away? Don't make me laugh, Worthy. I stabbed old Goodman. That's what you're saying, right? But if you had any conclusive evidence, you would have presented it by now. Well, You think I had not to dispose of the body? If so, then show me your proof and get it over with.
I'll say it again, Mr. Wright. Damon Gant is the current chief of police. This court will not tolerate any accusations against him without concrete proof. Well, Mr. Wright? Your Honor? Do you have any concrete proof? Proof that Chief Gant murdered Detective Goodman and made Skye dispose of his body?
Do I have any concrete proof? It has to be... So I got really into it. Why were there two knives? Hold on. I can't let him just squirm his way out of this. I've got to keep the pressure on. Yes, Your Honor. I do have such evidence.
Then please hurry up and present it. Just remember, it better prove Chief Gant murdered Detective Goodman beyond a shadow of a doubt.
It has to be the fact that there's 2 knives, right? There's 2 knives present. None of this shit is important on this right side here. Like, none of the stuff over here is important, I think. None of this is important. There is this. There's the blood on the locker, which never got tested at, probably, right? And there's this knife. Weapon used in an incident to me doesn't have any victims. It has to be the evidence of 2 knives. So, what exactly is this evidence? It's proof as to whether or not it's enough to demonstrate the chief's guilt. I'll let you be the judge. But I am the judge. Oh, right. Well, then what do you think, Your Honor? I'm gonna be late for lunch. Okay. That he murdered him. Do I have concrete proof? Do I actually? The handprint. What about the This is Emma Sky's prints, right? Not Lana. The real question is, what do these handprints show? What does this do for me? Is my question. Right? Because, like, this is Emma Sky's prints, and Emma Sky doesn't have anything to do with this case. You know what I mean? My thought process is the fact that there's presence of 2 knives, but... The fact that the game's giving me the option to say no again is telling, but I don't want to jump it. Chief Gant's safe. Evidence of something, but for what? What could it be? I think it's just a cloth. I don't think it's ready yet. I think it's for something else. I think it lies somewhere over here. I think I know what I want to present. So, what exactly is? Okay. Well. I'm gonna try saying no. Shit. Well, I'm gonna make another guess, right?
Crime scene. Choose to go the Howard's at Gant's behest, giving it its current form. It is the victim's blood, no prints. This has to be concrete, right? No, you cannot say. I want to think. I want to know. I want to discover. And figure things out on my own. God damn, sometimes... I think we have the evidence. I wanted to hit that option, and then I butterfingered the shit so bad. So... my main things I want to present are the King of Prosecutors trophy, the phone maybe, and the log. I have, or the autopsy. Take that. It's not right. Dear Christ. It's no use destroying evidence if I'm not even sure myself. No, Your Honor. At present, I have no conclusive evidence. See, Yuji? In that case, this court is forced to penalize you for your allegations against the chief. What? Here's a tip. Never gamble what you can't afford to lose, righto. It seems that Lady Luck was on my side again today. Okay, Yuji, I'll leave the rest to you. I warned you earlier, Mr. Wright. This is an affront to a senior officer in our nation's law enforcement agency. Lady Luck, Maybe we should have a word with her. Mr. Edgeworth, what do you mean? There's one lady who knows the real truth behind this trial. We haven't yet had the honor of hearing her testimony. Lana Skye. A lady who knows the truth. Another witness. Right? In the absence of conclusive evidence, the only other method of proof is testimony. But Chief Kent has invoked his right to refuse to testify. There's still someone else. One more witness who can answer all the questions raised in this trial. Someone right in this very room. Mr. Edgeworth, who is this person? Why are you asking me, Your Honor? Have you forgotten? The defense is the one calling the witnesses today. Mr. Wright, does such a witness exist? She may not be willing to tell the truth, but we can't just stop now. Yes, Your Honor, the defense calls forth Lana Skye. The defendant? Miss Lana Skye? She was in the underground parking lot at 5:15 on February 21st. Her task, to dispose of the victim's body. In accordance with a certain someone's orders. Mr. Edgeworth? The prosecution has no objections, Your Honor. Very well, the court will now take its final recess for the day. In 15 minutes, we will reconvene to hear the defendant's testimony. This court is now in Hold on. Huh? Oh, sorry. Chief Gant. My bad. I did the thing again. Hold on. Sorry. Hold on. Chief Gant, I thought you were going to eat. Listen good, Lana. He's talking to Lana. I don't think you need me to tell you this, but if you accept Mr. Wright's claims, there will be terrible consequences. That's right. Your sister will be found guilty for Neil Marshall's murder. Ah, this isn't good. Of course, you never support such outrageous claims anyway, right? Just something to think about. All right then. I've got lunch date to meet. Okay, if there aren't any further objections, this court is now in recess.
February 25th, 2:04 p.m., District Court, Defendant Lobby, number 2.
Looks like we managed to stay in the game.
Yeah, thanks to your help, Edgeworth.
That chief! He's something else, eh, pals?
Detective Gumshoe.
I'm not a detective anymore.
Oh yeah, sorry about that.
Ah, don't worry. I've already decided where to work now. At your office.
My office?
Sure. I'll take the place of that top-knotted girl you used to work with. See?
Could he mean Maya? God, it's been so long.
Still, looks like we're all out of moves now. Chief Gant's done it again. How is it he always gets the upper hand?
It's not fair. He has the right to refuse to testify.
Settle down, Wright. Remember what the judge said.
But Chief, that is not a right to be casually invoked. There are certain risks to be considered. Risks? What did he mean by that?
It's simple. If the chief refuses to testify, the opposite also holds true.
You mean he forfeits his right to say anything too? Okay, I got the voice right this time. Emma, are you okay?
Yeah, when I came to, I was in the medical office. I've been listening to the trial from the gallery.
So she heard everything that's been going on. Emma, I'm sorry for what I said before.
No, don't be. It was the truth. You know, it's funny. I almost feel somehow relieved.
Relieved?
Yeah, now I finally know what really happened. Saying that all this time, my sister was being blackmailed by that terrible man. And she did it all just to protect me.
Ever since her appointment as chief prosecutor, everyone who knew her said she changed. Perhaps it was easier that way for her. What do you mean? What do you think I mean? To follow Chief Gant's orders. She must have shut herself up deep inside. To force herself to do anything and everything the chief told her to do.
Emma's theme, banger. I kinda like it, yeah. That must be why she became so cold.
It was all my fault. It's all because I murdered Mr. Marshall.
Hey, don't go blaming yourself now. If you want to blame anyone, blame society, see?
Chief Gant may be able to fool everyone else with his forgery, but he can't fool my memory. I remember now. I knocked Mr. Marshall into that armor.
I see.
Well, we better get back. It's time for the final act.
Emma, why don't you wait?
No, I'm going with you. I want to be there when Lana tells the truth.
Let's go, Wright. It's time to end this.
To be continued. I get another save point. Let's go. I get to replenish my little health meter. Let's go, baby. No, oh, this is the recent one. Sorry. Trial Ladder 2? Are you serious, bro? Okay, now it's actually the end, boys. February 25th, 2:21 p.m., District Court, courtroom number 9.
Now then, will the defendant, Miss Lana Sky, please take the stand? Miss Lana Sky, you are the chief prosecutor. I'm sure you're aware of what is required of you.
But Mr. Edgeworth, You already know everything. You know all that I've done these past 2 years.
Please provide the court with your testimony, Miss Sky. And remember, you are under oath. We want to hear the truth.
Of course, the truth. Lana, no matter what happens, I'll always be your sister.
Now then, your testimony, if you will. First, tell us about your relationship with Chief Cat.
Everything hinges on your testimony. You're the only chance we have to get Gant. Witness testimony, Gant and the fabrication. Let's go, boys.
I worked alongside Gant for years. There's no truth to this blackmail theory. I fabricated the evidence 2 years ago all by myself. When I found Prosecutor Marshall's body, I rearranged the crime scene. My only motivation was to get Dark convicted. It had nothing to do with Emma.
Now that's just gotta be wrong.
Are you sure about this testimony?
Your Honor, I'm confessing to a capital offense. Of course I'm sure. But Lana!
If this is true, then that means Chief Cat has nothing to do with this.
That's what I've been telling you from the beginning. Please, Mr. Wright, you've got to help her. She's sacrificing herself because of me.
What if she's telling the truth?
She's not. I know my own sister. Whenever she speaks stiffly like that, she's hiding something inside. Deep down, she's really screaming in agony.
Yeah, there's no time to start second guessing myself.
The defense may now begin its cross-examination.
Alright. Cross-examination. Let's go. I worked alongside Gant for years. We press everything as per usual, boys. How many years exactly?
Ever since I made senior detective. Let's see, I was 24 then, so that would be 5 years.
Detective Gant and Detective Sky were legendary partners. I personally saw them testify in numerous cases.
She must have been good, coming from the same school as Mia.
Damon Gant was a respectable detective. That's why.
But think about it, Miss Sky. You didn't murder Detective Goodman. You told me as much yesterday in jail.
You still don't get it, do you, Mr. Wright? Any testimony you cannot present in court is useless as idle gossip. I stabbed Detective Goodman with a knife. And...
Did you do so to help your sister?
Joe Dark was a serial killer. My sister almost became his last victim that day. I didn't want that incident to ruin her life.
But what she did was justifiable self-defense. She wouldn't have been charged with anything.
That's not the point. She was traumatized that day, all because of that creep. That's why I couldn't forgive him. Lana.
So that's why you fabricated the evidence 2 years ago.
You say you did this all by yourself.
Yes.
Would you mind telling us what you found when you arrived at the scene of the crime?
It seems I was the first person to discover the scene. The broken prosecutor award knife was stuck inside the victim's body.
What?
Prosecutor Marshall died from an unfortunate...
But Prosecutor Marshall died from an unfortunate accident.
That's only a situation you dreamed was possible. The reality is, it wasn't my sister who took the prosecutor's life. Fantasize all you want, Mr. Wright, but I'll never change this statement.
You mean Prosecutor Marshall wound up being killed by Doc?
Something like that.
If that is so, what happened to the other murder weapon? Doc was carrying a switchblade knife.
Oh. That was lying on the floor a little distance away. It was probably knocked away in the struggle.
That's how it went down. She's trying to cover up her lies with more lies.
All just to protect me.
So when you found the scene like this, what did you do? After all, this is what everything boils down to.
Yes.
I broke off the tip of Dark's knife, planted it inside the wound, and then moved the body? Yeah, okay. You planted the tip of Dark's knife in the victim's wound?
And then you move the body? But why? Why would you do that?
You of all people should know, Edgeworth. You've always had a good head on your shoulders.
My head isn't that bad, but maybe I ought to ask for the sake of others. When you showed up on the scene, where exactly was the victim's body?
It was where you deduced it. It was by Chief Gant's desk.
But the body was found by your desk. Why did you move it there?
The reason for that is simple.
Let's have the witness explain this in more detail. The reason Miss Sky moved the body.
Because of the jar that shattered during the events threatened my plan. What? Oh, this ties to Gant. Easy. This ties to Gant. Oh, easy. Piece of the jar, you mean...
Yes, that wretched jar you showed us earlier. In order to show that Dark committed the crime, I felt it would be more expedient to move the body.
Expedient? I don't know.
So, when you first found the body, the jar was already...
Of course, it had been shattered to pieces. If you look at the crime scene, it will be clear right away what happened. Neil Marshall was dead, and Dark was lying unconscious. In other words, the jar must have been broken during their struggle.
I see.
What's the matter, Emma?
Apparently the jar shattered at the time the crime was committed. But I have a feeling there's more to it than that.
There must be a contradiction here somewhere.
Anyway, I committed this fabrication completely alone.
Little obvious, huh? I'll press this last one, but I know what the answer is now. So you rearranged the crime scene. Are you sure you didn't do this to keep Emma from looking like the murderer?
How many times do I have to tell you, Mr. Wright? Emma didn't do it. Period.
Are you so desperate to hide that fact? You're willing to risk the death sentence?
She's lying! She did it so I wouldn't be blamed for what happened! In any case, as a prosecutor, what I've done is unpardonable. There's nothing I can do to make up for my actions.
Mr. Wright, my sister's lying! Looks like she's determined to protect you to the end. She insists she fabricated the evidence by herself.
There's no way she could have done it alone.
I've got to get Lana to talk more. If she's lying, then she's bound to slip up and make a contradiction. Alright. It's here. No, you piece of shit. Miss Sky, I understand how you feel. You committed that crime 2 years ago to protect your sister.
You mean the forgery at the scene where Neil Marshall was murdered?
If that truth were to be exposed now, the past 2 years of your life will have been in vain. Even so, I am compelled to bring to everyone's attention a significant contradiction within your testimony.
A contradiction in my testimony?
You testified, and I quote, "The piece of the jar that shattered during the events threatened my plan."
That's right.
Do you have a problem with that?
It's a simple oversight, really. You see, a message was written on this jar with the victim's blood.
Yes, the prosecutor must have written it in his final moments.
Exactly so. And this is where the contradiction lies. In order for the victim to be able to write his message on the jar, it must not have yet been broken before he died. Wow, we had two completely different things in mind. Oops, I just got lucky. I had something completely different in mind, but that was in the back of my mind as well. I was like, how did he write it and the jar is broken? But I was more thinking about the fact that Gant had the piece, which he wouldn't have if the evidence was trying to be concealed. I don't know. He couldn't have written Emma's name on the shattered jar.
Order, order. Your Honor, it would appear more information is needed in regard to this jar and its bloody message. We may be missing something critical here.
Something critical?
Chief Prosecutor, it seems you're in the dark as we are about the truth towards which we're headed.
What?
Just tell us exactly what you saw. We'll piece together the information to arrive at the truth. Very well, the witness may now continue her testimony.
Witness testimony, jar, and message in blood.
I immediately noticed the blood traces on the jar, but it was dark in the room and I didn't have the time to check it out. To be safe, I wiped away the blood. The fragments were large, so I'm sure I got them all. All I could think about was wiping them clean before they were discovered.
You mean you were the one who wiped away the message in blood?
I wasn't chief prosecutor at the time. She didn't think Dark was the real murderer. That's why she tried to erase the real evidence.
Very well, the defense may now begin its cross-examination.
Jar, message in blood. So the jar was already broken?
It's a miracle that thing hadn't broken earlier.
It certainly looks as feeble as the defense's case,
But not as feeble as the judge's judgment.
you were an ace detective who never missed a detail. Do you really expect us to believe you didn't investigate what was written on the jar pieces?
Normally I would have.
So you didn't know your sister's name was written on the jar?
No, if I had known, I would have gathered all the pieces and ground them to dust.
Well, that helps my case.
Lana, you'd do that for me?
It seems you two might make up yet.
Anyway, I just barely had enough time to move the body as it was.
If someone happened upon the scene,
If someone happened upon the scene, you'd lose your chance to erase the evidence. You must have been in a hurry.
I was. I knew I had to destroy the evidence before anyone came.
This is rather shocking.
you say I wiped out the blood. I'm afraid this action of yours revealed what really happened.
What do you mean?
If you really thought Dark killed Darcy and Marshall, you wouldn't have wiped away the blood.
What else could I have done in that situation? Lana, I only had a few moments. There wasn't enough time for me to do anything else but gather up the pieces.
But how can you see with the power out? It should have been pitch black in that office.
A detective is always prepared, Mr. Wright. Even now, I always carry a pocket light and a camera with me. Even I carry a bottle of emergency luminol wherever I go. I never miss anything. I got every last piece.
So why did Damon Gant have one? Gant. So you illegally rearranged the crime scene?
Yes, I don't have any excuse for my actions.
I'm so sorry, Lana. I didn't know. I've treated you so badly all this time. It's not too late. There's still plenty of time to make up. After all, we've gotten to the bottom of this incident.
No doubt this day will leave a permanent stain on the history of the prosecutor's office.
More contradictions have surfaced in her testimony.
Your sister's really putting up a fight. She must really care about you. Still, she's not doing this the right way. I think I finally figured out the contradiction in her testimony. There's one final possibility that might turn everything around. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Sorry. Anyway. I'm looking at the evidence and trying to think here. Is it bad I want to present the jar again? Is it bad that I want to present it again? I don't care. Miss Sky, I believe this jar conceals a truth even you were unaware of.
What?
We found the final piece of this jar in Chief Gant's safe. All right, I was right. I was a step ahead. Oopsie. Ha. In Chief Gant's safe.
In the chief's safe? But how?
I knew it. She really didn't know. There's something even more disturbing about that final piece. There was still blood on it.
But the witness just testified that she gathered every last piece and wiped the blood off them.
Yes, which leaves us with only one explanation. On the night Prosecutor Marshall was murdered, you were not the first one to show up on the scene. Chief Gant got there before you. I mean, that's not where I would have gone, but probably, yeah.
But couldn't the defendant simply missed a piece?
I'm afraid that's unlikely. The pieces are too big for anyone to miss, let alone an ace detective.
That may well be, but everyone makes mistakes. Even I once wasted an entire day looking for my dentures. They were in my mouth all along. Ha! Can you believe that? Have you forgotten, Your Honor? When this witness arrived at the scene, the jar was already broken. Oh, that. There's no way a name could have been written on a shattered jar. Another person discovered the scene prior to the witness. I hope you're not implying this person was Chief Gant. At the time, he was looking for Doc downstairs. Besides, even if he was there first, why would he break the jar?
The question is, if he did arrive there first, why did he hide that fact for 2 years? Well, Your Honor, can you answer us that?
No! Wait, I'm not the one on trial here. Damon Gant arrived at the crime scene prior to the witness. He proceeded to break the jar and purposely hid one of the broken pieces. Question: What is this action called?
Fabrication of evidence.
But why would Chief Gant do that? In light of what happened afterwards, isn't it clear? What happened afterwards? Discovering the scene, Lana Skye believed her sister, Emma, killed the victim. Determined to help her sister, she sought Gant's aid. Lending her his aid, Gant helped her create evidence that incriminated Doc, sparing Emma. And therein lies the reason why Miss Skye became the chief's puppet.
No, I did it on my own. Please, sis, stop trying to protect the chief. I can't watch you suffer anymore for my sake. No, you didn't. It wasn't you, Emma. You didn't kill anyone. Don't believe anything Mr. Wright says. Defense attorneys make up the most foul lies to defend their clients.
Foul lies? Imagine that coming from my own client.
I guess you do seem like the type to twist the truth.
Seriously? Wait a minute. What if we're still smack dab in the middle of Gant's trap?
Is something wrong, Mr. Wright?
Lana, maybe right after all.
What do you mean, right?
So you do tell foul lies then, Mr. Wright?
Miss Skye, please testify once more.
But
if evidence was fabricated behind your back, then Emma's accidental killing of Prosecutor Marshall might also be a lie.
But I do remember knocking over Marshall.
Miss Skye, if you will.
I can't.
There's nothing to be afraid of anymore. This cross-examination may not change a thing. However, there's a possibility that it will, if you tell the truth.
Very well. I'll testify about what I really saw.
All right, the witness may testify once more for the final time.
Witness testimony, actual crime scene.
When I arrived, I found Mr. Marshall's body impaled on that suit of armor sword. Emma and Dark were lying unconscious on the floor nearby. When I saw what happened, I thought she did it. That's why I erased all the evidence that linked her to the murder. I had Chief Gant help me remove the body from the sword and carry it. But if it all really was fabrication, Emma might be innocent.
Unbelievable. The body was impaled on the armor sword? You were the only one who saw that. If only you had proof.
Actually, I do have proof. I gave it to Mr. Wright just this morning.
What? To me?
It's a picture I took of the crime scene as I encountered it. I thought it might be needed.
But I don't remember receiving a picture like that.
Lana must have known. See, Mr. Wright, she really does have faith in you.
Wait.
Very well, Mr. Wright. Please present this picture.
I don't remember receiving any pictures from Lana.
Lana said she gave it to you this morning, right?
I seem to remember getting something from her then.
Let's check that evidence again. There must be a picture in there somewhere.
There's no way she means this. We have no other pictures in possession, right? Aside from the one that Angel Star took. It has to be this one. Oh, we have to actually, like... Wait, can I, like... Wait, why can't I leave this menu? Hello? Wait, why? Wait, I'm so confused. Why am I stuck in this menu now? Help? Hello? I'm stuck. Wait, I can't... Wait. Why am I stuck in this menu? It's because it's wrong? Wait, what? It's in the book? Ah. Hey, there's a picture here. I assumed, I forget that the trials always start on the start of the day.
Oh my. This is the actual crime scene. No detective saw the crime scene like this. Because I contacted Criminal Affairs only after I rearranged everything.
Crime scene photo from the case taken 2 years ago. And now we have 4 pages on the court record, guys. Yay! Jesus Christ.
Mr. Wright! That piece cut out from his vest. Could that be...
The cloth we found inside Chief Gant's safe. What's this? It's a handprint, isn't it? Oh, you can see the leather pattern on it. I mean, it already said it was leather, but that's cool.
That cloth, it had fingerprints on it.
Whoever fingerprints those are, it must be the real murderer. What? But those fingerprints, they're yours, Emma. Why are your lips turning all purple, Mr. Wright?
Anyway, let's get on with the cross-examination. So as long as you tell the truth, we should be able to flesh out the real murderer. Very well. The defense may now begin its cross-examination.
Cross-examination, actual crime scene.
When I arrived, I found Mr. Marshall's body.
Come now, Uji. This is the poorest excuse for a trial I've ever seen. Chief Get. What, now you want to make me out as the bad guy too? If so, I'd like to put in a word or two in my defense.
I'm afraid it's too late for that.
What?
You already declined to testify. That means you forfeited your right to make statements of any sort.
This must be that risk we were talking about earlier.
Just sit back and relax, and enjoy the sound of the noose tightening around your own neck. Grrr. Grrr.
So what? You think I'm worried? Sorry to disappoint you, but I don't need to make any statements.
What do you mean?
The evidence will do all the talking for me. Even if I can't testify, I can still present evidence.
Yes, that's true. Wait, you mean you still have some conclusive evidence?
No, I don't, but someone does.
Someone?
So, what's your excuse, Righto? Why have you been keeping quiet about it? You do have something to show us, right? Something that proves who knocked over Neil Marshall, causing his death. Conclusive evidence that leaves no room for doubt.
Is this true, Mr. Wright?
If I show that piece of evidence now, Emma's sure to be made out as the murderer.
Mr. Wright, if you have any more evidence, present it now, and if you try to conceal anything, you will be the one appearing before the Board of Inquiries.
What do I do now? I better think this through carefully. I can't afford to make the wrong decision. Should I present that piece of evidence? The one that shows who really killed Prosecutor Marshall? If we choose not to show it now, we can never show it again, right?
As the kids say, we ball.
Yes, Your Honor. I do have further evidence. All right, the time's finally come to show it to them. Those prints have got to be the chief's.
Now then, let's see this conclusive evidence. The evidence that actually shows who actually murdered Prosecutor Marshall. It's a piece of leather cloth?
Yes. It was most likely cut from the victim's vest, near his chest.
What's this? There's a big handprint on it.
Surely it must have been left on the cloth by overshoved the victim into the sword.
What? Whose fingerprints are on this?
I'm sure Ryder was checked. Haven't you?
As a silver, please remember the rules.
Well, whose are they?
They're Miss Skies. Miss Emma Skies. What? They're mine? So I really did do it.
See, I told you it was conclusive.
But this is found in your safe. That means it's possible you forged it.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't remember any cloth in my safe. Do you really expect me to believe that?
But
Give it up, Mr. Wright. It's over. You shouldn't have presented that. By presenting that evidence, you tied Emma Sky to Neil Marshall's death.
no.
It appears you have our killer.
No. No. All right. Everything hinged on that point. In the end, Lana alone was found guilty on all counts. All right. That's fair. I don't remember doing that. It wasn't that long. All right. We balled too hard, true. I didn't think the game would do that, low key. All right, let me mute the audio. I don't need to. This didn't take that long, to be fair. This is only like two things. Yep, yeah, I know. Witness testimony. Blah, 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 blah. We should be able to get back in like 5 minutes. Hopefully. All right, so I guess we just don't present the evidence. It's gonna tie back in eventually, right? I think we press this or the one behind it.
And these you can skip tech like this? Yeah, thank God it's so much faster. I pressed the wrong one. It's this one. No, I can't button. Who killed who? Is the game on? I muted the audio on purpose because there's gonna be a bunch of spam. But I mean, if you guys want to hear it, sure. I'll keep it muted on my end, I guess. This is the one we pressed for. Yep. Hey, fail. I'm gonna get back in just a second. Don't worry, it's not gonna take that long. Yeah, we got the bad ending, I guess. All right. I broke out the tip. I'm such a failure. We were doing good, but that was like an all or nothing thing. Why did you read the body? Press this. And then I don't think I need to press this actually, but let's be safe. Alright, now we present the jar. Objection, your mom sucks. I love speeding through the game like this. This is really fun. Speed run, baby. I'm actually at world record pace right now. Jar message in blood. All right. Jar message in blood. I was joking there. I didn't take it out to say about the blood. I was sure I got it wrong. Set the jar one more time. Objection. Yeah, someone else was there. Order. Objection. Your Honor. I gotta go to the bathroom. Objection. One more time. Take it back now, yo. Why not this time? Right foot, let's go. Left foot, let's go. Crisscross. Okay, I'm sorry. Alright. Yeah. Touch out real smooth. Get it up. Crisscross. What if? Yeah, yeah. Slide to the left. Slide to the right. Take it back now, y'all. Why just died? Let's go. Actual crime scene, and then he's like, actually, shut up, stupid. Oh no, this is not, okay, this is. Oh no, I tried to start the cross-examination, then he's like, actually. Oh no, we have to show the picture first, that's right. My bad. We do this, check. We go to the back of the book. Open. Picture. Reverse. Objection, the butler did it? Yeah, the butler from episode 2 did it. For sure. Alright, sweet. And we're almost back to where we're at. Hold it. I'm David Gadd and I'm fat. I'm built like a munchkin, but if it was orange. You want to take a bite of my tie? It looks like cherry. I promise it's nutritious. You should have a taste. All right, we're back. If I show that piece of evidence now, I'm sure to be made out as a murderer. Mr. Wright, if you have any more evidence, please present it now. And if you try to conceal anything, you will be the one appearing before the Board of Inquiries. What do I do now? I better think this through carefully. I can't afford to make the wrong decision. Should I present that piece of evidence?
The one that shows who really killed the prosecutor marshal? Your Honor, I don't have any evidence I can present at this point in time.
What? You lie.
Chief Gant?
You opened my safe. I know you took what was inside. The conclusive evidence.
I don't know what you're talking about. Mr. Wright, why don't you show them? We found it together.
Oh, I see. It's because you know the truth, don't you? You know his fingerprints are on it. And that's why you won't present it.
What are you talking about, Chief Gant?
Can't you figure it out? Take a good look at this picture. See the victim's vest? Notice anything odd about the chest area?
It looks like a part of it's been cut out for some reason. You mean you had this in your safe? What? That means you, the chief of police, have been concealing evidence. This is going to be the biggest scandal in the history of the police department.
Impressive. To be honest, I didn't think you had the gall, Righto. Well, I can't just let you pin me up as the murderer. I'll tell you what really happened.
What? You mean you admit to it?
I was the first person to arrive at the crime scene that day. It then occurred to me that I could use the situation to control Lana.
So you really were manipulating her?
I knew Lana. If I made it look like the blame lay with her sister, that when she saw the scene, she would ask me for my aid.
So you assisted Miss Sky.
I told her to arrange all the evidence. I had her plant the knife tip in the victim's body and move the body across the room.
And I ended up using that evidence to get Joe Dark convicted.
When I tampered with the crime scene, I hid 2 pieces of evidence. This is before Lana arrived at the scene, mind you.
2 pieces of evidence? You mean those items in your safe?
But why?
For insurance, of course.
Insurance?
I was sure my plan would work, but it's always best to be prepared for the worst. I wasn't about to let anyone blame me for a murder that girl committed.
You mean you were calculating that far ahead while forging the evidence?
What do you take me for, a fool? I didn't make the police chief by dumb luck. See this jaw fragment? I hid the most legible part of Emma's name. I didn't expect Lana to go and wipe away the blood of all the pieces.
But if you had fabricated all the evidence, what's that you didn't fabricate the message on this jar too?
Ho, ho, ho. Some people just don't know when to quit, do they? That's why I kept one more item for insurance.
You mean that piece of cloth?
Come now, Righto. Cough it up already. I know you have it.
What are you waiting for, Mr. Wright?
So you admit to it then, Chief Gant? That you were hiding the cloth you cut off the victim's vest in your safe?
Yes, I admit it. I didn't want to have to do all that. Being the chief and all. But it's a lot better than being portrayed as a murderer.
Well, Mr. Wright, what do you have to say for yourself? Just a moment ago you said you didn't have any evidence you could present.
Foolish move, Righto. You should have shown it then before it was too late.
I literally just went through this timeline and it did not work out. It's been a long battle. But the moment of truth has finally arrived. As long as I don't mess it up. Here, victory is mine. Well, I have all my lives. I can afford to, you know, mess up a bit. Let's do this. Your Honor, I do have evidence to present now.
All right, then, let's see this conclusive evidence. The evidence that shows who actually murdered Prosecutor Marshall.
Should we actually present the cloth is the question. Let me verify this once more. On the day of the crime, you personally cut out this piece of the victim's vest? Oh yes, at last you finally brought it out into the open. There's a handprint on this piece of cloth. Your Honor, the prosecutor requests that be immediately sent to the lab for analysis. This handprint on the leather. There must have been a strong impact for it to be left so clearly. You mean... It could not have been forged. It must be authentic, conclusive evidence. Ho, ho, ho. You're as slow on the uptake as ever, Worthy. What? Think about it. Rido had all this time to present this evidence. Yet he was reluctant to do so. Why would that be? You mean you already know? You know whose fingerprints are on that? Mr. Wright, do you really know? Whoever the fingerprints belong to must be the real murderer. Whose fingerprints are they? Very well. I'll tell you. It should be okay now. Everything's proceeding as predicted. I can't lie, can I? Emma Sky. What? They're mine? I'm sorry, Emma. Why? Why didn't you tell me? Oh, ho, ho, ho. You're really something, Rido. You know this girl did it all along. And you still try to pin the murder on me. So it's true. Tragic, but true. This girl really did shove Prosecutor Marshall to his death. How could you? You monster! Miss Sky. You knew whose fingerprints those were all along, yet you acted like she really didn't. Miss Sky, it's not over yet. What? I said this trial isn't over yet. Ha! Sorry. Ha! But I'm afraid it's over, boy. Not only this trial, but your career, too. You purposely concealed this conclusive evidence. That, my friend, is a serious offense. I'm looking forward to pressing charges after the defendant is convicted. I'll have your badge, boy. What's the matter? Cat got your tongue? Aren't you going to tell us how it feels? My voice is dying. I need a drink. How it feels to be the one who single-handedly turned a poor girl into a murderer? Before I do that, there's just one little thing I have to clear up. Oh, and what's that? Who really killed Prosecutor Neil Marshall? What? Chief Gant, you are absolutely right. This piece of cloth proves who the real murderer is. Who killed Neil Marshall, you ask? It was Emma Sky, wasn't it?
I'm afraid that's not possible. You see, this piece of cloth contains a critical contradiction.
What? A contradiction? What is this fool babbling about?
I'm talking about a contradiction, one that proves who the real killer is.
Mr. Wright, this piece of cloth, what could it possibly contradict?
Chief Gant, your tyrannical reign ends here. Behold, the piece of evidence that contradicts this cloth. It was the blue badger, guys. Not yet, not yet, not yet, not yet, not yet. What does this glove have to do with the incident? It still hasn't really come into play, right? I don't know. Maybe that's a reach. Oh, God. To review, the cloth bears Emma Sky's fingerprints. Her palm print, to be exact, right? Her whole hand, her handprint. So that means at some point, she touched, what is it called? Neil Marshall. Then this was later cut out by Chief Gant. Why? God, I feel like such an idiot. I actually have absolutely zero clue. There's a handprint, right? Yeah, someone left it behind an oil stain on the fabric. Whoever it was, they must have had a really oily hand. Mr. Wright, think about it scientifically, huh? A more likely explanation is, the person slipped and fell on a freshly waxed floor. Getting wax all over their hand. Well, that would account for this amount of oil, I guess. I don't see what's so scientific about it, though. It happens, you know. I always slip on floors at school after they're waxed. A freshly oiled hand. I'm not gonna lie, I am absolutely lost. Is there anything? What is this glove for? I think it's confusing. What's so confusing about that? Bag tag is stupid. There's nothing dialogue. Single stab wound piece in the heart and lung. Assassin died from blood loss in under 10 minutes. Weapon silent. Okay. What reason would she have to touch him that wouldn't lead to his murder?
I have to prove you murdered him, but how does that happen? Am I this stupid? I feel like I'm really stupid. I feel like I'm really stupid. I feel like I should already know what this is, but I really don't. This don't do nothing. I'm checking this. Let's see, Google. No, I'm kidding. I'm not doing that. Oh, this is so annoying. I have no clue. Oh, I'm so stupid. There's only so many pieces I feel like is worthy presenting. Let's present the cloth, guys. We ball. Oh, ho, ho. It's fun watching you squirm, righto. It's because it doesn't seem... Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. Let's just save. I actually, in hindsight, I probably should save just to save time later because I don't want to have to go through another 5-7 minutes. But. Fun karma. Dear Christ. Wait. I don't know. Something, the sword is removed from this trophy after the incident occurred. Something, he did it. That's my brain right now. Most of this stuff is pretty irrelevant, aside for this knife and the glove. Absent defense muffler, small tag attached. I don't think it's the knife. It could be the glove. I checked the picture. I don't think it's the list. It could be this. Could be the autopsy report. Don't think it's the file. Could be the vase. Ah, I feel like I'm so close. I'm really annoyed right now, dude. I'm so annoyed. I feel like I should know, and I really, really don't. And something's definitely not right about it. It's too late to turn back now. You're the only one who can put an end to this, right? Chief Gant, your tyrannical reign ends here. Yeah, I'm doing it. I'm saving just in case. I don't want to have to come back to this later. Behold, the piece of evidence that contradicts this cloth. Okay, that's wrong. Got it. Not the shield. It'd be really funny if it was this, but not yet. Yeah, nope. Not the jar. Did I already do the jar? I probably already did the jar, right? I wasn't paying attention. I did the jar twice. Alright, the picture makes sense.
what exactly is this supposed to be?
This is the picture Miss Sky took. Take a good look at it. See where the piece of vest, see where the piece of his vest was cut out?
Yes, his shirt is showing underneath.
I understand.
Okay, yeah, I didn't think that hard. It's hard to make it out with all the blood on his vest, though.
Exactly my point. His chest is soaked with blood. That's only natural. His lungs no doubt were punctured. Blood poured out of his mouth.
Oh, but that piece of cloth. Wait, there's no blood on it. Ah!
And Emma Sky's fingerprints are on this cloth. There's no doubt that she shoved the prosecutor aside. However, Mr. Marshall was not impaled on the sword. At that time, God, I can't freaking talk.
No, this is nonsense.
Now then, Chief Gant, let me ask you something. Prosecutor Marshall was not impaled and he was shoved aside.
He most likely hit his head on the ground and was knocked out.
If so, then tell me, who could it have been? Who could it have been? Who could have arrived at the scene before Lana Sky and picked up the unconscious prosecutor and impaled him on the armor's sword?
Then to make it look like Emma was responsible for the prosecutor's death, said person proceeded to write her name on the jar with the victim's blood, a jar that they then broke on purpose to leave behind a clue, and make Lana believe her sister did it.
Or what you admitted only moments ago? That you personally cut out this bloodless piece of the victim's chest? Ironic, isn't it? Though the very act of creating assurance, you prove that you were the actual murderer.
No!
It's finally all over. I swear to God.
That was a close one, Rhino. You almost got me. Sorry, but you'll have to do better than that. I refute your allegations.
What do you mean you refute his allegations?
You see, that piece of cloth is illegal evidence.
Order, order! What nonsense is this?
Illegal evidence cannot be used to convict a suspect. Remember, Yuji? Earlier old Rhino here concealed that piece of cloth. So then, what's your excuse, Rhino? You do have some conclusive evidence, don't you?
Your Honor, I don't have any evidence that I can present at this point in time.
Well, that's true. The defense did refuse to present evidence, but
Unregistered evidence presented must be relevant on the case of trial? Like, probably, right? I don't know, something like that.
At that moment, that piece of cloth ceased to be legal evidence.
But that's not fair!
Ho, ho, ho! Did you actually think you could bash me in court? Looks like the laugh's on you, son.
I'm afraid Mr. Gant's claim is legally correct. Well, Mr. Edgeworth? True. Illegal evidence cannot be used to convict a person, assuming, of course, that the evidence is indeed illegal. Well, Mr. Wright?
It seems at last. The time for me to reveal my plan has finally arrived.
Mr. Wright, do you admit to it? That you purposely had and purposely and illegally concealed this piece of cloth?
Oh God. Oh dear. What do we pick? I have the... I'm able to mess up again here, and I have the save point. Oh God.
I admit, I refused to present it at one point.
Ah, so the evidence is illegal.
No, it isn't, Mr. Gant.
Huh?
It's not that I didn't present the evidence then. It's that I couldn't.
What do you
mean you couldn't? There are certain procedures involved in presenting evidence.
No, Yuji, don't listen to his lies. He's nothing but a coward. You can't really believe.
There's only one issue left to be resolved in this trial. Is this evidence legal or not? Very well, let us settle this once and for all. Earlier you refused to present evidence. If you can prove your conduct was not in violation of the law, then do so now. This is my proof, Your Honor. Evidence law.
What's this?
I've done my homework too, Chief. Indeed, Emma Sky's fingerprints were on this piece of cloth. However, at that point in time, this was merely a piece of cloth, nothing more.
What?
You see, it's written right here in this book. The second rule of evidence law. Rule 1. No evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. I found this piece of evidence myself, inside your safe. It goes without saying, I did not have approval from the police department. Rule 2. Unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case or trial. And here's the crux of the matter. You see, at the time, it was impossible for me to prove the relevance between the cloth and the SL9 incident.
What? What kind of nonsense is this? You want relevancy? Just take one look at this picture and...
Sorry, but can you recall, when was that picture presented?
That was shown...
That was shown only a few moments ago.
No.
He's right. At the beginning of today's trial, that piece of cloth was still meaningless. The person who gave it value as evidence was you, Damon Gant. You yourself confessed to a certain truth. Let me verify this once more. On the day of the crime, you personally cut out this piece of the victim's vest?
Oh, yes.
No! It was then that you approved this cloth as conclusive evidence. Yes, you, the chief of police, personally approved this cloth. The only person who could have cut this from the victim's chest is the one who stood before the prosecutor marshal in his final moments. In other words, the real murderer, and there's only one person that could be. Damon Gant! The killer was you!
No. No. Oh, I knew it should have gotten rid of him. That good-for-nothing scum. For 2 years he's been snooping around the department, trying to get something on me. Crimes are being committed every day, yet he insisted on hounding on me.
Well, your crime wasn't exactly petty.
He wanted to reinvestigate the case. He recruited Angel Star, and then convinced Bruce Goodman.
Detective Goodman?
Yeah, that's right.
If evidence is transferred, I'll lose my only chance to find out the truth. Please, you've got to help me.
Goodman turned him down, as he ought to. Still, Jake Marshall didn't know when to quit.
He stole Goodman's ID card and tried to take the evidence.
Goodman came to me that day. He wanted to file a lost item report. I went with him to the evidence room. Then all of a sudden he decided to speak out. What are you talking about, Goodman? Can you please reopen the
reopen the investigation, Chief? We can't transfer the evidence out. There's too many questions left unanswered.
He opened his evidence locker as he was taking out the evidence
And as I was taking the evidence out, he said,
It's not too late. I'm going to hand all of this over to Marshall.
well, to be honest, I was a bit taken aback by his words. I had a bad feeling when he came to see me, but I never thought he'd bring up SL9. That's when I saw it. That accursed knife. Oh, he's confessing now. I couldn't just pull it out.
Doing so would have only led to more blood, making it near impossible to hide your crime.
Even so, the blood was just pouring out. I didn't know who might stumble in, so I hurried to wipe it up. I was worrying so much about the floor, I didn't realize my fatal mistake.
The bloody handprint on Detective Gumshoe's locker.
I used to be known as the crime computer. But everyone had to start somewhere, I guess. I was too nervous. I had no business doing any of it.
Then you put the body in my car?
I'm sorry, I couldn't think of any other way to move the body. I broke your trunk. Well, what's the big deal? You make a lot more than us detectives ever will.
But leaving the prosecution's car aside, how? How could you get Miss Sky involved in all of this?
Well, she had as much to lose as I did if the truth came out.
So you took the evidence from Detective Goodman's locker?
I felt bad for having to do it, but I also didn't have the time to pick and choose what to take.
So, you left the jar and fragments of the glove. Here's the jar fragments in the glove.
Yeah. It looks like I was better off being an investigator of crimes than a committer. They all did their best to get in my way. I've got to hand it to them. They do their jobs well, much to my dismay.
Fake evidence doesn't hold up very well upon close examination. You must have known that.
Tell me, Worthy, why do you stand in court?
Me?
You despise criminals. I can feel it. You and me, we're the same. One day you'll understand. Oh, believe me, you will. You're just one man. You'll see what it really takes to bring them down once you try to go it all alone. Well, looks like it's time to say goodbye. Oh, Yuji.
Well, what?
Looks like we'll have to cancel that lunch date. Sorry, old friend.
I'm sorry too, Damon Gant. I knew you as you used to be long ago. You were once a fine investigator, an example to others on the force. I'm sorry to learn that you are no longer that person.
Those days are gone now, Yuji. Thanks for all the memories, though. Don't worry, you'll be fine. Now you have Righto here. And Worthy. With these two around, you can't go wrong. In fact, I can hear them already. The melodious sounds of a new beginning.
There are two things I want you to understand.
Yes?
First, your sister never hurt anyone. Second, Damon Gant betrayed you from the beginning. You see, Miss Sky, you no longer have any reason to keep silent.
You're right. When this trial is over, I'll tell everything. All that I've done these past 2 years. From the time I had Gant help me forge evidence up until today.
So, it seems all the questions raised in this trial have been answered.
I'm sorry, Miss Sky. I couldn't get you out of all your trouble.
My, what's high standards you have for a rookie. I can see why Mia thought so highly of you. Who knows? A few years from now, you just might make it to the top.
The smile!
I owe you my thanks, Mr. Wright.
Miss Sky.
And to you too, Mr. Edgeworth. You've suffered every bit as much as I have over these past few days. Believe me, I know how much of an ordeal it's been for you.
It was nothing.
Liar. I was worried the pressure might break you. And yet, you rose above it all and guided Mr. Wright to victory. You've done well, Mr. Edgeworth.
So stop it. I only did my job. In light of this case, it seems a good self-examination is in order for all of us. Miss Sky,
Yes, Your Honor.
you are innocent of murder. However, although the chief blackmailed you, the fact you still acted as his accomplice. A trial will be scheduled for these crimes at a later date.
Yes, I understand, Your Honor.
Is there something amusing about all of this? Why are you smiling?
It's been a long time, Your Honor. A long time since I felt free of these heavy chains.
What happened to your psychic, the one that killed her sister? Shut up. Maya's chill, okay?
Well, this trial has gone on far too long already. Regarding the charge of murder, this court finds the defendant, Miss Lana Sky, not guilty.
It's over. It's over!
That is all. This court is adjourned.
February 25th, 5:03 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby, number 2. At long last, it's finally over. Emma? Why the long face? I'm sorry your sister didn't get completely off the hook, but at least she wasn't convicted for a murder she didn't commit.
No, that's not it. Just now, after the trial ended, I can see why Mia Fey thought so highly of you. I owe you my thanks, Mr. Wright. And to you too, Mr. Edgeworth. You suffered every bit as much as I have over these past few days. You've done well. You know, I did my best too, but Lana didn't say a single word to me.
I hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals. Jesus Christ. Oh, guess I am. I'll come back later, see? Wait, Detective Gumshoe, what is it? You're doing this on purpose, aren't you? Making a detective run around while on duty. And to top it all off, you caught me here. I've seen happier people at funerals. Hey, lighten up, pals. I'm only kidding.
Oh, are you here because of my sister again?
Nope, not this time. I came today because of you, pal.
Me?
That's right. I thought you'd like to see someone.
Lana!
Should you be doing this? She's still under arrest, you know. Well, I won't tell if you won't. See?
Emma, I owe you an apology. It's okay, sis. Don't worry about it. That day, 2 years ago, was the first time in my life I ever panicked. It was all I could do to keep myself from screaming. All I could think about was keeping you from getting wrapped up in that mess. Sis, I asked Gant to help me cover up the truth. I thought I was doing it for your sake, but now I realize I was wrong. I changed after that day. I had to. It was the only way I could make it through the past 2 years. I knew how much I was hurting you by distancing myself, but I couldn't bring myself to tell you what I did. I was scared. Scared that you'd look at me with those eyes of yours. I was scared of how you'd react if you knew. But sis, you're only doing it for me. No.
Huh?
I turned my back on you that day. And hiding what I believed to be the truth. I was deceiving you. Sis. I'm such a fool. It took me all this time to realize it. Emma, I'm so sorry. But sis, you don't have to apologize. I'm happy now. You're happy? Of course. You know, sis. I always knew that one day you'd come back. And now you have. Oh, Emma. Emma. Ah! Yeah!
No one can change the past. The only thing you can do is strive to make up for our mistakes. I only see make up for our mistakes, you ask. Because in so doing, we can find the way back to our rightful path. And it is from there that we can move on towards a brighter future. At least that's what I felt watching the two sisters make up.
Mr. Wright, Mr. Gumshoe.
Me?
Thank you both for all that you've done. I'm sure we'll meet again someday. Isn't that right, Edgeworth?
Edgeworth?
Stop hiding and come over here.
Where was he hiding? I just came to say, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Edgeworth.
Right, well, I'll be going now.
Mr. Edgeworth, I hope you don't blame yourself for what happened. We were the ones who acted corruptly, not you.
It's too late for me. No matter what anyone may say, I realize today that I can't correct my mistakes.
Mr. Edgeworth.
Not only that, but I don't even trust myself anymore. Chief Kent was right.
You despise criminals. I can feel it. You and me, we're the same. One day you'll understand. Oh, believe me, you will. You're just one man. You'll see what it really takes to bring them down once you try to go it alone.
I do despise criminals. I plan to dedicate my entire life to fighting them. But in order to fight crime on my own, I'd need a weapon. It's scary, but I've known that to be true for quite some time now. But Edgeworth, who knows? Given enough time, I might have tried to pull something like that Chief Kent did. That thought terrifies me. That's why I can't continue on as a prosecutor.
Edgeworth, don't you understand? Damon Gant and your mentor, Manfred von Karma. We're both the best of the best when it came to fighting crime. But they both made the same mistake. You said, in order to fight crime on my own, I'd need a weapon. That may be true, but think back to today's trial. You weren't alone. You were working together with Mr. Wright. And because of that partnership, you were able to present evidence that otherwise would have gone undiscovered. Isn't that right, Mr. Wright?
Huh? What? Oh, yeah. What is this, a pop quiz?
Come on, Mr. Wright, show him what Lana's talking about.
Evidence, huh? Something that neither Edgeworth nor I would have been able to find out on our own.
That might mean something to you, but I don't see how it had anything to do with our partnership.
Huh?
Mr. Wright, it seems you still have a lot to learn as well.
I guess that wasn't the right item. Okay, wow, I'm stupid.
Oh, he said it's time for me to go.
Mr. Edgeworth.
If you'll excuse me, there are still some loose ends that need wrapping up. Take care, Chief Prosecutor.
I got the item wrong. Nice job, me.
Edgeworth, what will you do now?
Well, whatever you do, just remember, you can let what happened kill the prosecutor in you, or you can let it help you grow. In the end, it's up to you.
I know. It seems I owe you my thanks too, right? What I face now is my problem.
Edgeworth, I'll be waiting for you in court.
Farewell.
I better get going too. Okay, but I'll be by to visit soon. And since we both have a lot to learn and catching up to do, here is a little something for you. Scientific investigation. It's the first book I ever bought. Study it well. Thanks, sis. I will.
And so, another case came to a close. As for the sisters, I have faith. Faith that their lives have only just begun. And as for me, I think it's time I started on a new journey of my own. A journey to rediscover myself. Oh yeah, that's true. I didn't think of it. I didn't think of it like that. Well, don't go tricking off just yet, pal. Huh? What is it, detective? There's just a little matter to be resolved about the chief prosecutor. See? You see, she isn't supposed to be out of jail like this.
But
I thought you said it was okay. Yeah, well, it may be okay with me, but the folks at the prison are a different story. Huh? Basically, I had to bribe a guard in order to sneak her out for 30 minutes. Believe me, it wasn't cheap either. Huh?
way to go, detective. I didn't know you had a wild side.
Yeah, well, you see, Mr. Wright here's the one who will be footing the bill. Huh? What, you think I could afford it with my salary? You gotta be kidding me, pal. Huh?
Thank you, Mr. Wright. You're the best.
Why is it I suddenly feel like I want to scream? Hey, I got an idea. Why don't we all go pay it off together?
Yeah, that's a great idea. Come on, guys. Let's go.
The credits. These credits are cute. All right, guys. I think now would be a good time to say thank you for watching today's stream. If you guys did enjoy it, go ahead and drop a like down below. Ace Attorney is finally actually done for realsies this time, boys. If you guys enjoy it, drop a like down below. So that's the like button's for. Ace Attorney will be back soon, eventually. But we're gonna do some other stuff in a long while, or in a while. We're gonna do some other stuff in the meantime. I have a few other games I've been wanting to play. I've been wanting to stream a ranked stream. It's an X ranked stream because that sounds fun. I have like a new layout to design for the next series we're gonna do, and then after we've taken a break from Ace Attorney, we'll come back for the next game. We will. If you guys want to check me out on Twitter or Discord, you guys know where to go. Exposure Twitter, Exposure Discord. Duh. If you guys enjoyed the content, you know this already. Drop some down below because that's the sub button's for. If you want to wear, just making sure you guys knew. I'll be live again on Sunday. I'll be live again tomorrow. I forgot. This is Saturday. I forgot what day it was, man. I'll be live again tomorrow for some Sunday splats for the random rotation that's happening in Salmon Run tomorrow. We'll be playing that on stream as well as some PBs after a little bit of slamming in. Beacons, can you shut up? This game was an absolute blast. I enjoyed every single episode. Sometimes this game's a little too smart for me, or sometimes it's just a little bit too dumb. Sometimes my brain falls asleep on the wheel. But regardless, I had a fantastic time with this game. Shout out to Chain Chomp fan, dude. Absolute goat. Shout out to the blue goddamn badger and this fingerprint, this handprint that was there the entire time that I thought would mean something at some point. And thank God I don't have to hear your theme again. Ooh. It broke. Oh, that's fantastic. Blue badger, my beloved. If you guys want to ever check out Ace Attorney, by the way, it's available everywhere. You can get it in the Switch, Xbox, PlayStation. It's on a computer. Play Ace Attorney. This game is good. It's Marshall. He's like, hey, check out that jawline, though. Check out that jawline. Look at me. Well, cowboy. Looks like you did it. This game was honestly amazing. If you guys want to take a guess at what we're playing next, I have mentioned what we're going to do next. Oh my god, no, not you. Hey, Angel Star. How you doing? Hi. Oh my god, a lunch. Yay, I'm starving. I haven't had lunch yet. Oh god. Yeah, this is the last time you're seeing her, by the way. Say goodbye. Say goodbye. I will say, I think I enjoyed episode 4 being the original ending of the game. But this one was a pretty good case too. It got good near the end, albeit very confusing. I think it's just the fact that it was so long, it's hard to retain all the information week to week because of the way I'm streaming this. But if you were to play this episode in one sitting, it would probably be a blast. It sounds like a lot of fun. It's the judge. I'll never forget what that young defense lawyer said after the trial. Let's see, what was his name again? Mr. Left? What? Mr. Left? I just got it. Oh, that's great. I forgot my gavel. Oh, we've never seen the chair before. He's never removed himself from that post. That's cool. Shout out to the translation team. For real, for real. There's a bunch of Ace Attorney games, and maybe one day we'll get through them all on stream. Maybe. But I'd like to at least burn through the trilogy. I know there's a spin-off game with Miles in it, which is kind of crazy. Maya! Yeah! Oh, I can't wait to see you. Yeah, full-fledged spirit medium. Mystic Maya. Maya, the goat. All right, I think that's the end of the credits. It's a shame she got killed. She didn't die. Maya's perfectly alive. Mia is the one who's dead, unfortunately. But Mia's still amazing. Okay, we love Mia. I think I still hear her voice. Wait, why am I saying that? That's Edgeworth. Why is the bellboy here? Bro, what? What is the bellboy? What? Didn't she kill her sister? She still didn't kill her sister, but it's whatever. Okay. Her sister didn't do anything wrong. IMO. And boom boom. Emma! You know what? After everything that happened, she wasn't that bad. She wasn't that bad. Not gonna lie. She was okay. Aw, that's cute. All I have to do is open this book. Wait, oh wow. It's a letter. Oh, that's so cute. They're saluting. Oh, that's adorable. I love that. This case, this episode, wasn't that bad. Thank you guys for watching. Oh, wait. That's not what I meant to do. I meant to do something a little bit cooler. I meant to be like, whatever. You get the point. Thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Adios.